Innovate Malaysia is a multidisciplinary engineering design competition for undergraduates in Malaysia. It is co-organized by technology leaders in the industry, supported by government agencies and engineering professional bodies. The competition serves to promote innovative culture in engineering design, tackle real-world problems with practical engineering solutions, and churn out the brightest talents for product development, further research, and commercialization. Innovate Malaysia has become the largest engineering design competition in Malaysia over the years. It has become a platform to promote the adoption of industry platforms in the universities, to align engineering solutions to real-world problems, and to groom and acquire engineering talents. In short, this program synergizes an ecosystem for industry-academia collaboration to produce talents and innovative solutions with state-of-the-art technologies. Ladies and gentlemen, Innovate Malaysia Design Competition started in 2011. Many of you may not be aware that this is the 12th year anniversary for Innovate Malaysia. For this year's competition, we have 222 teams from 30 universities nationwide participating in various competition tracks. Participants are provided state-of-the-art industry platforms to develop their projects. They are trained on industry-recognized technical skills, domain knowledge, and functional skills through Dreamcatcher's micro-degree program, a micro-credential certification, and mentored by industry experts. Please allow us to share a short video montage of the journey and impact of this competition.
Showcasing myself to industry-leading companies to boost my chances of employment.
To showcase our innovative ideas to a greater audience, which is an excellent channel for our exposure and experience.
I also saw it as a chance to gain experience and improve my CV.
I can get the chance to learn something which are beyond my syllabus.
To strengthen my problem-solving skills during project implementation.
I get the opportunities to hear professional advice from the judges during the competition's midpoint clinics.
Provided us a lot of tools that we could hardly find in our university.
Industry mentoring helped me a lot because it provides constructive feedback on my project.
The industry mentors have been very helpful in providing a different perspective to my project. For example, they ask about the marketability of my project, and also what is the output of my project when it is done in a bigger scale.
Our mentor gives us a lot of great advice to improve our project as he points out the problem and gives suggestions during mentoring session.
Now, additional to the micro degree training, I received industry mentoring, and that actually helped me because the advice that I received helped me to change the scope of my project.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, after a year of competition activities, 25 teams have made it to the grand finale. They will be winning a total of 57,500 ringgit in cash prizes, plus some other add-on item prizes too. Later today, the first prize winners of their respective tracks will compete for the Innovate Malaysia Excellence Award. This online event will start with a panel discussion by industry representatives, followed by Innovate Malaysia Excellence Award judging, and ends with the Innovate Malaysia winner announcements. The moderator of the panel discussion is Dr. Ng Chi Mang, a principal consultant from Dreamcatcher, and the title of this panel discussion is What It Takes to Grow Your Career in the Tech Industry. The member of panelists are Ms. Liu Han Yi, Head of Business Transformation, DHL Express, Mr. Ong Boon Leong, Principal Engineer, Internet of Things Group, Intel, and Ms. Sandy Ma, Head of HR, Global Business HR Director, Asia Talent Acquisition Director, Keysight. Without further ado, please allow me to hand over to my colleague, Dr. Ng.
Hi, thanks, Nikki. Hi, good afternoon, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for the panel discussion. Okay, so my name, as introduced by Nikki, my name is Ng Chi Mang. I'm a principal consultant with Dreamcatcher Consulting. Before joining Dreamcatcher not too long ago, I have been working in semiconductors industry for nearly 20 years. So I now handling Dreamcatcher's talent pipelining program, focusing on developing talents right after the tertiary education. Okay, today together with me, we have our respective panelists. We have Miss Liu Han Yi and Miss Sandy Ma, as well as Mr. Ong Boon Leong. Most of our audience here, right, are fresh graduates, and will be graduating soon and ready to join the workforce. Okay, and most of our graduates here, they are graduating with their technical degree. So you're probably aware that you're already taking a big step, right, to start your career in the tech industry. Okay, so what you have done, you have actually chosen the major or the specialization of your choice. Okay, and of course you earn the degree upon completion. Okay, so you got a degree in your desired majoring. For example, is engineering or maybe computer science, ITs, etc. Okay, but is that all? Okay, is that all you need to advance your career in tech industry? Okay, and as you know, tech industry is typically operating in a very fast-paced environment. Okay, so do you know what it takes? Okay, what else it takes for a career and to excel? Okay, in this very competitive technology industry. Okay, so to answer these questions, we have chosen this title: What It Takes to Grow a Career. Okay, in the tech industry. I mean, tech means for technology, of course, right? So what we try to achieve today here, right? So we try to promote technology industry as a primary choice, okay, for our fresh graduates to start a career, okay? Okay, and first of all, of course, we hope to provide the audience, especially the young fresh graduates, okay, we like to provide you the insights, okay, and landscapes, okay, about the technology industry. Of course, for us here, we probably mainly focus on E&E software industry in Malaysia, okay, as well as other industry which are benefiting, okay, from the technology advancement, for example, like digitalizations, digital transformations, automation, etc. Okay, so these are, okay, by business nature, they may not be tech, but because of adopting, they are actually benefiting. Okay, so they're in really good needs, okay, for talent who are actually especially trained in a technical degree. Okay, so we try to provide you a landscape, broader view of what's happening in Malaysia. We then will touch on what are the available opportunities, okay, that's in place in the industry to assist graduates to kickstart the tech career. Okay, so and finally, we will also touch on the key attributes and values that are essential, okay, for the graduates to progress in a career. So these are the objectives that we hope to achieve by today's panel discussion. Today, we're very honored. So we have some of the industry veterans and practitioners from the leading tech company, okay, joining us as panelists and sharing with us their view on these topics. Okay, so in no particular orders, I'd like to invite our panelists to briefly introduce themselves. Okay, just briefly introduce, because later on, okay, you might actually tend to share more, okay, in some of the questions. Okay, so just keep it short, right? Okay, perhaps we start with Sandy. Sandy, please.
Yeah. Hello, good afternoon. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right, good. Well, I'm Sandy Ma. I'm the head of HR for TSAC Malaysia. So we are a US-based company located in Penang, and we are also one of the US company that started from a garage 80 years ago. Thank you for having me here today.
Great. Thanks, Sandy. Thank you. Okay, how about then next we go for Miss Liu. Miss Liu, honey? Yeah.
Hi.
Ladies first.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Pleasure to be here today. My name is Liu Hanni. I'm with DHL Express, joined the company 26 years ago as a fresh graduate. So this is very close to heart for me today. And I currently head up business transformation. Yeah. So thanks for having me here. Look forward to the session.
Thank you, Hanni. Thank you. Boon Liang? Yeah.
Hi, good afternoon to all children, all students, not children. Right. So this is Boon Liang. I'm with Intel Malaysia, right? I'm a principal software engineer. Has been in this industry for 20 over years. In fact, I joined Intel when I graduated from University Tenaga, and also along the way I decided to study in Imperial College. But then I still really have a very strong feeling, hey, Malaysia is a good place. I want to work in Malaysia. That's how I stick around. And of course, 20 years, right? I never thought that I'd be invited to talk to you, but it's really good that I can talk to you, right? At least I pass some good things to you, right? Nice meeting you all.
Great. Thank you, Boon Liang. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, so let's move on. So we all know our country, Malaysia, our diversified manufacturing sectors is the backbone, okay, of our economy. Taking examples, E&E components sector, okay, accounts for 40% of Malaysian products, very significant, okay. And of course, just 2 days ago, the government also released a strong 8.9 growth in GDP. Okay, and the growth, of course, we expected to grow, especially with the adoptions of IoT, digital transformation across different industry. So given environment here, okay, very vibrant environment here, can you share with our audience, especially those who are about to join the workforce, okay, an overview of the industry you are in. Okay, so each one of you are coming from different. Some is the Sandy's coming from E&E, right? And then it's like Boon Liang, in a way, we'll see, but more towards semiconductors, right? Hanni is from logistics, okay, but then it's very strongly adopting the digital transformation. Okay, so is the I think it's the audience would be very keen to understand your view, okay, on this the industry you're in and the value change, and the most important thing, the future growth, right, in Malaysia, because that actually will translate to the job prospect for them. Okay, so the okay, we already have the ladies first. Now we have the gentlemen first, right? How about Boon Liang? You would you please share your view?
I think I'll be glad. If you have been following some news, right? Intel had a new CEO last year, right? His name is Pat Gelsinger, right? He has been a veteran in the company, and of course, he kind of like now joined back Intel, right, leading, and he announced a very important piece of news, right, that excites the whole Malaysia, right? It's about Intel commits to invest about 30 billion ringgit, right, which equivalent to about $7 billion over the span of 10 years, especially in the area of assembly, test, and manufacturing, die preps, some of these advanced packaging, right? It will be creating about 4,000 over jobs, right, and across the board in Intel up and coming mega factory expansions in both Penang and Kulim. And of course, on top of that, right, Intel Malaysia has a very strong presence of design and development team, which I belongs from. And in there, right, we have functional roles like system IP design, platform design validations, right, software and system engineering developments and validation, right, really supporting a very extensive Intel product portfolio, right, really out from Malaysia. And in addition to that, right, we have the IT and the finance, right, even the sales marketing organizations is in here, right? And if you think about it, right, Intel Malaysia is really like a mini Intel corporation in Malaysia, really minus out the fab, right? We really don't have fab in Malaysia, but other than that, we have really extensive many jobs, functions in Malaysia, and it's really exciting, right? With this new investment pouring in, right, I'm pretty sure, right, the economy will grow, the opportunity will grow as well.
Yeah, great. It's it is a very good news. I mean, it's the prospect is so attracting, right? Of course, I hope when you say you minus the silicon fabrication, I hope you won't disappoint some students because they are trained in the VLSI. Okay, of course there are other companies like Infineon. Okay, they also run fabs in Kulim, so the even X-FAB, for example, in Sarawak. Yeah, so we actually have a full spectrum, okay, to support the entire value chain. Thanks, William. Thank you so much. Okay, how about next we invite Sandy?
Yeah. Well, E&E definitely is a very interesting and exciting industry. Despite COVID pandemic itself, the entire industries, that we have seen has become more evolved, and it became the main growth of the driver for Malaysia. And this year itself, E&E Industries basically is celebrating our 50 years in Malaysia, especially in Penang. Keysight Technology, previously known as HP, is one of the 8 multinationals that started Biolepas Industry Estate. So today, E&E Industries basically become a very crucial industry in nationwide in Malaysia. And surprisingly, many people doesn't know that what is the major exporters from Malaysia. There are still a lot of people think that it could be our biggest exports is petroleum, even palm oil or rubber, but instead it is E&E products. So Malaysia is also the 7th country in worldwide that is the biggest E&E exporters. So with these facts, everyone can help to imagine that how big the market is in Malaysia itself and how many job opportunities available in Malaysia. Well, in Keysight Technologies, our product, we are in test and measurement solutions. So a lot of time, we have a chance to really involve in very high-tech industries and as well as new ways of technology. So for example, there are still a lot of companies or operators are still adopting and implementing 5G. Our scientists and researchers on site is already working on 6G. And the same for a lot of our engineers here are also involving in a lot of technologies or products that has not really released in the market. For example, cloud security solutions that is addressing, all the cloud security, address all the cloud security challenges. And besides that, we are also involved in all the automotive industries that are helping our industries to pursue in electric vehicles or automotive driving. So all these are opportunities available in E&E industry, and of course, it's just some of them. Yeah, I believe that if today we have other companies here, they are able to even share even more exciting engineering opportunities available. So being a engineering student or computer science or even science background students, there are plenty of opportunities in E&E. For example, you can always start from being in a manufacturing as a product engineer, test engineer, quality engineers, materials engineer, components engineers, and as well as also, pursuing a career in R&D that involves in a lot of R&D research for the company and as well as application. And besides that, there are many more jobs, career opportunities that, you can pursue next phase when you acquire certain experience after you understand the industries that you are in. And perhaps in the next sessions, we can discuss more. Right. Thank you.
Yeah. Sandy, can I add on a question? I mean, as you have a very strong R&D present here, I mean, do you have strong demand for people with advanced degree, for example, like PhD?
Yes, definitely. Even from ourselves itself, Keysight basically is an integrated campus for Keysight World, and we are also one of the largest test and measurement company in Keysight World, and as well as worldwide in terms of test and measurement factories. So in the R&D team that currently present in Malaysia, we do offer opportunities for fresh graduates that comes with bachelor degree, master degree, and as well as PhD. So even today, if you only have a bachelor degree, you can still pursue your career in R&D field. Why? Because in Keysight, we continue to encourage our employees to further studies, and we also have education assistance program that help employees to continue to acquire their master degree and as well as PhD with free. Employees do not have to pay anything.
Wow, that is exciting. That is exciting. So Keysight is kind of a very so-called is very committed, right? I mean, to develop the what they call it for the talents, right? Okay, so yeah, we heard a lot from company side, more on the technology side. Let's hear from Hani. I mean, how technology is being adopted and how this actually is in turns provide opportunities for our graduates with a technical degree.
Yeah, sure. Well, firstly, I think it's very encouraging to hear from both Boon Leong and Sandy that the prospects is very, very, very good in terms of the investment in the tech industry. So for us, DHL, we're not a tech company. We're a key logistics partner to enable technology. In fact, our largest customers are from the tech industry. So I think that also speaks in terms of the prospect of this industry and the growth of it, right? So as a logistics provider, we have long played an active role to be a facilitator for cross-border trading, right? So as we manufacture all this technology, the equipments, the parts and everything, usually it's all to supply to worldwide, isn't it? And that's where I think DHL has long been a partner with key tech companies as well. So a bit about DHL. I'm from DHL Express, but globally we all fall under the Deutsche Post DHL group that has various business units from supply chain to freight forwarding. I'm from Express, but we also have e-commerce focus as well. Of course, postal services in Germany as well. So end-to-end supply chain. For Express alone, we operate 320 dedicated aircrafts, providing 2,300 flights daily globally, across more than 220 countries and territories. So I think as we are talking about the prospects of tech, as we are talking about the prospects of the growth of this industry, the world is becoming smaller in the sense that we are all becoming more connected. And I think over the last few years, we've seen how logistics is a key player to help to connect people and improve lives. Yeah. So a bit of technology, even though we are not a tech company, but if you look at the last 3 years, we have actually really heightened our focus on digitalization, because that's the future. Well, it's not the future, it's really here now, right? Many people say that actually over the last 2 years with the lockdown, it accelerated the adoption of technology and digitalization by 5 years. I mean, we can argue whether it's 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, whatever it is. But I think one fact is that lockdown, the pandemic, has made people realize that we've got to change the way we do things, and digitalization is what we need, right? So even in for us ourselves, I'm heading up business transformation. A large part of it is about digital transformation. I think in terms of our companies and businesses within the country, many are already intensifying their use of digital offering, going online, selling things. So we talk about usually online is only B2C, but B2B, that is also upcoming. A lot of businesses now realize that beyond the what do you call the normal shop front, they really need to also establish their presence online. Yeah. So I really do agree. I mean, talking about the prospects of technology, especially for fresh grads in this field, the prospects in Malaysia, I think, is really, really, really good. And I think there's plenty of jobs in demand. Yeah.
Yeah, great. It's excited to hear that. Yeah. Okay, I think because yeah, we have spent a bit of time on the topic. I think we have to move on to the second topic, which should be very interesting as well. And then in some ways, Sandy is almost when she tried to explain, she almost get into the scope of the second questions. Okay. Let's move on to this second questions. We want to look at this. If our fresh graduates, decided, is to venture, right, to pursue the career in a tech career. So how would most of our company facilitates or assist these fresh graduates for them to have a successful kickstart? So various company, they have different practice, different policy, different belief, right? To help to provide the essential tool, right? I mean, it's especially to bring the fresh graduate up to speed, right? So that they can be more productive and also confident and maybe more committed to stay on with the company. Let's hear from each one of you and what your company is doing, right? Honey has speak quite a long. Maybe you can take a few second break, and we come back to Sandy. How about that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Keysight basically, we believe in homegrown leaders. So 100% of our people managers and executive leaders are homegrown or promoted internally. So therefore, the company philosophy basically committed in developing our own future leaders. And that's why we have very serious and structured development program for all our fresh graduates. Although students are basically completed with an engineering degree, but a lot of time when they enter into the industry itself, there are still quite room for them to learn and acquire industrial relevant knowledge. And therefore, in Keysight itself, in order to close this gap, we basically run a lot of pre-universities programs to offer the opportunities for students to learn, expose, and also to understand more about various industry needs. So one of the examples is the STEM educations that we involve in, like Innovate Malaysia, right? So they have a chance to try out and explore projects, and as well as learn certain industry. And in that internship is another programs that we run where we allow employees to come in on job and experience and try out, and as well as to learn about how factories or a company is operating, and from there it helped them to determine where should they start in their first job. And in Keysight, we have a program for fresh graduates. It's called Keysight Graduate Trainee Program. Under this program itself, fresh graduates will be placed into a role, and then they will be provided a industry relevant upskilling training to help them to be more industry relevant and industry ready. And under this syllabus that we created, we partner with Dreamcatchers and a lot of other training providers to basically help refresh and as well as to confirm some of the engineering concepts and theories that they have learned in school so that they can apply it in a much more practical way in a workplace. And it comes with soft skills training too. So these are some of the basic programs that we built in Keysight to help fresh graduates to start their first career. And on top of it, just now, I think I mentioned as well, in Keysight, we have a long list of trainings that help employees to be professional, to get certified, and as well as to continue to acquire their master degree or then PhD degrees for free. We also have support systems where we help fresh graduates to really get integrated into the industry itself through new hire networking programs that the seniors basically help them to integrate into the business and help them to solve some of the basic corporate required skills in order for them to work effectively as a first-year freshie. And throughout the years itself, all our employees basically are encouraged to go through job rotation program. They internal transfer, they look for opportunities to rotate into different functions and roles to enrich their experience and as well as to expand their understanding about the company products, industries, and business. So for example, this year itself, we also roll out programs where we allow employees that with minimum 1 year of experience, that means they must complete 1 year experience in Keysight, and after that, they can apply for a short-term assignment in US. So with the short-term assignments exposure in US, they have a chance to really connect with our colleagues from another country and build more collaborations within Keysight itself. So we believe these type of exposures and programs will help them to strengthen their knowledge about the company and as well as to build confidence for them to continue to pursue a career growth. And that's why with all these programs, we are also very honored that our fresh graduates basically nominated us as our graduates of choice. So we are one of the top 10 company in Malaysia, graduates of choice, and we are also #1 graduates of choice in electronic sectors under M100 survey itself.
Wow, that's exciting to know that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we probably have to quickly move on to how about Boon Leong? Okay.
Yeah, I think what Sandy explained is pretty typical, right? In MNC, where you have the graduate training, you have the intern program. Perhaps I shed some light on additional things that maybe Sandy didn't cover, and also being heavily kind of like roll out in Intel, right? Intel has this expert networks that usually it consists of PE, senior PE, and fellows and above, right? And even myself as a principal engineer, right, we are obliged to provide consultants, right? And we have a system that we will publish what is our availability and our skill sets, and really for even the youngest junior, right? If you really need to really seek consultation, right, you can actually go into the system and say, hey, I would like to meet up with you. Roughly, this is the scope, right? And we will actually be there, right? Spend half an hour just to listen to you and provide the kind of support that you need. And I often find this is the very best system because suddenly, right, it always opens up a wide door, right, to not even your seniors in local. You can just simply talk to someone in China, right, someone in Europe, someone in US easily, right? And this is, this system is really there, right, to really inspire and also help, right, the new kids on the block, right, to know to orientate yourself, right? So that's one part. And another part that I don't want to mention, right, we have free access to all the technical material, whether it's trainings, all these ebooks, right, from all these very established publishers like O'Reilly, right? You can actually look up and read and really assess all these different books, right? And if you think about it, right, you may, if you are not with company like Intel, right, you may need to pay about maybe 200, 300 just to get a book. But in Intel, right, if you are looking for something and you are researching, right? You can open this book and this book and just read in parallel, and this is really entirely freely accessible. And to me, those are really, really important key elements, right? To really enable the younger engineers, right? To really look beyond just your team, right? You may not have the best engineer to work with you in the local context, but you have no shorts of opportunity to really learn yourself and also tap into the best of best and to get experience from there. And along the way, right, if you have the kind of self-drive, right, you can really navigate your career to a very good extent, right? And in fact, I just want to say, right, we have really a lot of locally bred PE, senior PE in Malaysia, right? And these so-called group of experts are actually performing at international level, and we are approaching and talking to customers from Europe and US, right? Discussing about technologies that how we're going to do, the collaboration we're going to do, right? So these are really examples of how even joining a company in Malaysia, right, can really open up a lot of doors, right, for you to be able to go globally. Yeah.
Oh, this is very exciting. Intel has always been a leader in semiconductors. When I was in the fab, right, we always look up to Intel, and that's our benchmark. Yeah, especially at the publication that you mentioned. Wow, that is actually for us is the being a short times in the R&D related R&D. This is something is like a precious for us to be able to access to the to the Intel. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's quickly move on to Hani. I mean, would you like to share with us?
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I think what Sandy has shared and Boon Leong has shared, I think very similar to DHL and many MNCs, like I think internship, graduate training program, internally develop talents and things like that. I think we all have that. Maybe perhaps I really agree what Boon Leong said, right? Joining a company in Malaysia doesn't mean that you are limited to just Malaysia. I think it's important for you to choose an organization where, you know, it still provides and invest in you to provide you with the kind of exposure that you get, right? So for example, one of the reasons, I mean, I shared earlier on that I joined DHL as a fresh graduate. And to be honest, at that time, I didn't know what DHL was. The reason I joined DHL was why, hey, okay, opportunity to travel, right? International company, surely I'll have opportunity to travel. But also why I chose the graduate training program at that time was because I did business management, not as specialized as what you guys are doing. And with business management, the problem is if it's too general, I really don't know what job to do, right? So I took on that graduate trainee opportunity to try and find where my passion is, right? So I think finding an organization that allows you the opportunity to get the exposure is very important. So for example, in DHL, we are a global company. Within DHL Express, we employ over 100,000 people worldwide. Within the larger group corporate Deutsche Post DHL, we have over 500,000 employees globally, right? And if you look at Malaysians, where have Malaysians been? Our global management board, DHL Express, we have a Malaysian there. In our Asia Pacific Management Board, we have 4 Malaysians there. And even locally in our senior management team where I sit in, 6 out of 9 of our senior managers have actually had postings overseas before, you know. So I think it's important for you to consider joining a company, an organization that where you would actually get the opportunity and the exposure, because with exposure, it actually helps to enrich you as well. Just one more thing that I perhaps want to add from a DHL perspective is, you know, we all, I think all of us focus on developing people, and we have a sustainability program called the Go program. So under Go program, we actually have 4 programs, one of which is Go Teach, and that's why we partner with Dream Catcher to participate in IMDC. And Go Teach, with Go Teach, we actually aspire to you know, help and educate and equip students, yeah, so even from secondary students, university students, to equip them to face the job market of today and tomorrow, you know, and to equip them with leadership roles and everything. But beyond Go Teach, we have 3 other programs, and this is a key part. I mean, our global CEO really lives to this, and he told us, all people leaders, right? Whatever we do on a day-to-day job is only half of what we are supposed to do. the other half is really about us impacting the community, impacting the world. So we have Go Teach, we have Go Help, we have Go Green, and we also have Go Trade. So under Go Trade, which is our newest program, we aspire, with our knowledge in cross-border trading, we aspire to equip our local SMEs to help them grow their business and to help them go overseas, sell overseas. Well, with online now, anybody can sell overseas, right? So I think it's also important for you to, I know a lot of young people now look for job, not just in the job that they do, but I also look for the sense of purpose, how am I contributing? So I think those are the things that you would need to consider as well as a fresh grads. Yeah.
Yeah, great. It's we had a lot of commonality. It's many company they are put a lot of efforts on the continuous learning. It's not just technical, as well as the software. Soft skills and management, and so exposures to different kind of portfolio, right? and duties. Okay, that can actually provide a more all-rounded environment, and also international exposure, be it collaborating with the overseas counterparts, okay, or even overseas posting. Okay, so these are usually it's what the MNC, the strong MNC corporates can provide, the kind of environment for the fresh graduates. Very exciting about it. Okay, so we have to move on to the to another exciting topics. Okay, this is about yourself. Okay, so yeah, all of you have been very successful in your own way, and being very successful veteran industry practitioners, being in management or in technical. Okay, can you share with us what are the key attributes and values that really bring you success? Okay, and also people might be thinking, hey, you guys have a lot of opportunity elsewhere. Okay, why stay back here back in Malaysia? There are certain group of committee who keep thinking is the working overseas is always better, right? As okay than home. But then you guys are being successful, and then okay, what they call it, can continue to excel, right, at home. So please share with us. How about Honey? You go first this round.
Okay. Yeah, I think as the saying goes, right, the grass is always greener on the other side. But I think when I was posted in Philippines for a few years, and throughout my career with DHL, I've had opportunities to work on projects and assignments that brought me maybe a few months in Europe and things like that. And I think only when I got that kind of an exposure working outside of Malaysia did I realize actually how blessed we are in Malaysia. It's hard to explain, but you know it when you get out of Malaysia and you start to look in Malaysia from outside, and you realize that, we always think that, oh, Malaysia got a lot of things, not good. Actually, we are so much better than many other countries, even the more developed countries, I dare say, right? So I think firstly is our own mindset. And for me personally, I did go to Philippines for a couple of years. I did have assignments overseas and things like that for a short period of time. But ultimately, I think, this is where home is. This is where home is. This is where your support system is. And one of the things I miss most when I was away in those couple of years or months was it's so lonely. It is so lonely. Culturally, it is so different. Even Philippines, you would think that it's Asian, right? So Asian culture all should be still quite similar, but it's different, and when you get there, you feel like a foreigner, you feel like an alien, you feel like somebody from an outside. So for me, why am I still in Malaysia is I think the prospect in Malaysia is still very good. Yeah, it's still very good. Of course, ultimately it boils down to our own personal choice. We need to decide that we want to choose to see the positive. We want to see, there will always be challenges. No country is perfect, but I think if we choose to see the positive and we work hard, this is a land where if you work hard, you will get rewarded. Yeah.
Yes.
So I think this is something for me personally. It's and for young graduates coming out and everything, I think what's important is, find your passion. Yeah, you need to figure out what you really love doing. And this is a very difficult question to answer. You need to find it yourself. So when you're in your early 20s, go and explore, go and do whatever things. Exactly. In exploration is where you will find your passion. And once you find your passion already, work focus on it and get good in it, be successful in it, so that you reach success by the time you are in your late 30s or whatever, right? And yeah, so I think for me, why I'm still here, why I'm still with DHL after so many years, I've done 13 different roles in my 26 years. So, continue to learn, right? Learn new skills, collect skills. Every job that I go to is about collecting new set of skills. And it's not boring. It's not boring because the world keep changing. And now more than ever, it keeps changing even faster, so we will never get bored. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So it sounds to me it's like there's a secret formula there. It's at first go exploratory, try everything, understand your passion, and once you found it, stay focused. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I hope you agree. And when you say it's like you miss Malaysia, I thought you were saying nasi lemak.
Also.
Also nasi lemak. I heard many of country because I was in Singapore for almost 20 years. But of course, they also have nasi lemak in terms of food, right?
But different, right? I'm sure you agree.
Yeah, tastes different. Okay. Okay, how about Boon Leong? Yeah.
So I think there are a couple of things maybe I want to share. First, just like what Huini shared, right? I've been posted to US and I worked there. I've seen Oregon, very nice states. I've been into Arizona, really deserts as well, but it's all equally very nice, right? I've been posted to work in Beijing, right? For 2 months, I've seen Beijing, and of course, I visited Germany industry a lot because I have close network there. I work with some of the engineers there very closely. In fact, some of the principal engineer there as well, right? So I've seen many parts. In fact, I've seen many parts. And why I decided to continue to stay back, and of course, family is always one of the important factors, right? And I will not deny it. That's the really honest part, right? But I also believe that, right, a lot of times in Malaysia, we have no short of opportunity, right? And really the short of opportunity is often, right, we self-inflict on ourselves. I shared with you a little bit of the story, and I would like to encourage the students, right, to think about it, right? So it happens that many years back when I was still like thinking about, hey, I want to be, should I be going Singapore or should I be staying back, right? Looks like okay, not sure, right? So it happens that there's one US director that visits the team, and he was sitting down, right, in a room, right, about 15 of us. Then he was trying to ask questions, right? Being Malaysian, right, very quiet, very shy, don't want to look stupid, right? Don't dare to answer. Then out of kindness, he very politely tells us to say, guys, look, I'm being very friendly here. I'm trying to ask all the questions just so that you can ask me back questions. But yet, you are still very, very quiet and very shy. Think about this. If you are not able to, even in this very friendly environment, talk to me comfortably, then how would I then believe that you can represent Intel to talk to our customer outside? Bang. That's the part that a lot of Malaysians inflict upon us, that because of our culture, right, we don't dare to speak up. And that little events, right, actually mold my mind a lot, right? And that's just really one, right? And as I was looking, hey, I want to pursue my principal engineer path, right? What are some of the other things that I'm lacking, right? So I saw that, hey, some of these leaders, right, can really present internationally, and they go to conference, right, can convince you and describe things in a very well context. So I share with you another tips, what I did. Back then, right, when Penang Science Cluster in Penang just started out, right, and in fact, I know Penny quite well in 2013. So he came to Intel and said, hey, why not you engineers in Intel come over to PSC to just give some sharing? And look at it and say, hey, this is a good opportunity, right? Because I needed an avenue to really train myself to teach professionally. I sign up, right? So this is really that little revelation, enlightenment that that where are you lacking, that you have to work on, right? Yes, I think what Sandy was sharing, right? We need to deliver on our job, right? There's also a part that you need to develop someone. But don't forget about developing yourself as well, right? Identify where are those areas, develop on it, right? And I would like to share with you, it takes more than just knowledge, right? You need to know how to network. You need to know even how to speak at an expert network. Talks about sense, right? People recognize your contribution and they start inviting you to talk to a bigger quorum, to talk to customer, exchange thoughts. Those kind of opportunity is not lacking in Malaysia because we are working across border, right? And maybe I just want to leave you with one final thought, right? That's this concept that I hold on very dearly in my heart. It's called think globally, act locally. It's very important, right? We may be going around seeing the grass is greener there, right? But ultimately, if you are not acting, right, in the global context, you will not be there, right? So instead of hopping around, going around, right, doing different other things and not building a network, why not figure out what's your passion, right? Whatever you work on, think globally, make an impact in the international aspect. When you are able to do that, you know you'll make it. Thank you.
Very important advice. Yeah, Sandy.
Yes. Well, for fresh graduates, right? Lately I have been browsing social media platforms. So there are, because it's a graduate season, so there are quite a number of fresh graduates were posting in social media. They were asking for advice from the public, yeah, or it could be their seniors. Oh, should I join company A or company B, right? And then you will see a lot of response. And a lot of time when I browse through the feedback, I noticed that the advice that given from a lot of people are focusing on, oh, join company A because company A offers work-life balance, company A doesn't have OT, the company A, you know, the job is quite relaxed, and etc. So I start to realize that, oh, I'm quite worried about all these comments, yeah, to be true. As a fresh graduate, ask yourself, would you like to start a career or a job that train you, equip you to be someone, yeah, that potentially be professional? It could be in your subject matters expert, or it could be a professional manager, or it could be someone that holding a very important role in an organization. Like just now, I think both Hani and also Bunyang said that in a lot of multinationals, there are a lot of high-ranking positions are basically holding by Malaysians, yeah? Or you just want a job that doesn't require you to stay back for overtime, yeah? So review again, you know, when you decide your first job, besides, you know, a lot of other criteria that just now we have shared, an opportunity, your passion in the role itself, opportunity for you to learn and continue to equip yourself, and also, you know, a job or career or a company that really committed to help you to build a career. So those are things that even more important than, you know, a work-life balance job. Because work-life balance will always come, you know, when you are ready or when you know how to juggle, you know, between your work and as well your personal life. And especially nowadays in a lot of multinational, flexi working hours, hybrid work models are very common. So those shouldn't be your first criteria to determine what type of job or role that you should, you know, consider. So this is my advice. Besides that, I would also like to also share that nowadays a lot of younger generation employees like a quick win, yeah, or quick results. So their lack of patience to continue to wait or deliver for the opportunity, or wait for the opportunity to be promoted. But in reality, think of it, whatever that you do today basically is an opportunity for you to accumulate your experience. And all this experience basically help you to build your foundation and make you stronger in long run. So when the opportunity is not here yet, just try to continue to do your best. Look for opportunities to continue to equip yourself and brush up your skills. Yeah. And when opportunity comes, just grab it and then figure out how to deliver or do it. Yeah. So a lot of time that when opportunity comes, people start to think twice. Oh, should I take it or should I not? You know, and why don't, you know, do it the other way around. Equip yourselves when opportunity is not here, but when opportunity comes, just take it. Because when people offer you the opportunity, it means the person basically observes or notice that you have certain qualities or potentials that they would like to invest in you. That's why they offer you the opportunity. So you should have, some little confidence about yourself to just take it out. I left Malaysia for about 6 years before returning to Malaysia. Before I left Malaysia, my ex-boss told me, oh, there are so many people leaving Malaysia. You shouldn't. You should stay because you should have more opportunities in Malaysia. But out of curiosity, I decided to see, the world. And I came back later, and I'm back here for about 10 years. And I realized that after you went out and you came back, in fact, Malaysia doesn't have any, shortcomings in terms of opportunity. There are many, many opportunities available, and there are many, many good companies that really committed in building the E&E industries, ecosystems, helping each other to develop. And that's where you see, the companies that like DHL and Intel, even like Keysight, we are always, continue to helping each other and partnership to make sure that the country continue to grow, our people continue to have opportunities to expand and grow. So for those that still considering whether you should start in overseas or Malaysia, in fact, Malaysia has equal opportunities for you to be successful. You do not need to look out because we have tried it and tested it for you. Yeah, most important is your own internal way of how continue to drive for success, determined in seeking for new opportunities and knowledge, continue to learn and look for gaps to make yourself more competitive in a global talent.
Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sandy. These I saw commonalities between what you share and Boon Leong as well. I mean, basically, don't just stay in the comfort zone. Be brave to walk away, and then be patient to develop, invest yourself, right? Okay, before the next opportunity arrives, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I may add on what Sandy just say, right? I also find the beautiful things about Malaysian is really we watch out for Malaysian in an MNC context, right? In fact, a lot of the opportunity, right, is really a leader advocate for me because I've done a reliable job here, and he advocate for me to grab a position or even go to a short assignment. And because of that, I make more connections, right? And that's really also the advantage of being in your community, that once you build the expert networks within the local context, they tend to watch out for you, right? So, and I felt it's going to be true, right, across all the MNC in Malaysia as well.
Exactly. So don't have to look out. I mean, just stay focused on yourself, right? And make sure you have acquires the necessary knowledge. Opportunity will come to you, right? Okay. So well, we running short of time a bit. Let's see. Let's try to open up the questions to the floor. Let's see whether there's any questions. So to the audience, if you have any questions, you can either raise your hands and speak up, or you can choose to type a question in the chat. Yeah. So because we have limited time, we probably can only afford to answer 1 or 2 questions.
Hello, can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Well done.
So for example, actually I'm a mechatronics student, right? But I wanted to involve myself in more towards electronics industry, right? So let's say because I have a certain fixed credit hour for my study in mechanical modules, right? So for my case, does actually additional more towards electronic project by myself help when I actually apply for a job in electronics company?
All right, I can try to answer, right? Being a mechatronics means you have the both side, right? Mechanical, electronics. I hope you also have some sense of the software, right? When you apply for a certain job, right, the tendency is they will want to test your understanding, in your case, right, electronics. So you got to be able to explain your understanding on that, right? It's really important. right? Because if you are kind of focus, oh, because of my background, this is how I'm trained, and I'm not really in that skill, that actually not increasing your chances of being enrolled at least to a pool of candidates they are looking for, right? Because company tends to select what's the best candidate. That's one, right? So my piece of advice to you, right, is really, if you really want to go towards the electronic side, right, you maybe you got to look beyond, right, what's your course offer, go a little bit, stretch yourself a bit, right, to understand what's this electronic about, and be prepared to be able to answer that. And I also want to share one piece of information for you, right? Often employer, right, the manager actually would have their seniors and maybe managers will interview you. We look also on your attitude, right? And we look also on your ability to communicate and also articulate your understanding of your technology, right? That's very important. If you can't, then it becomes really a stumbling block for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, may I add? I don't know how to address the student who asked these questions, but in general, I think one of the things that students need to understand that if you receive a call to invite you to attend an interview, this means that the hiring managers or even someone who have reviewed your resumes and already made known that you have those qualifications. So it is not matter of how many credit hours that you complete in certain papers, but rather how well you master the topics that you put on your resume itself. Yeah. So for example, it could be you are a mechatronics student. Either way, you are better in mechanical or even electronics. It's important that during the interview itself, you prepare and you're able to answer all the questions technically sound, especially all the basic questions. Do a refresher before you attend an interview. Other than that, also for a fresh graduate, focus on your final year project. Yeah. So a lot of students tend to complete final year projects, but during interview itself, they have forgotten how they complete their final year project. They were not able to answer a question well, like, what is their methodologies, how they derive in all the conclusions, and what are the challenges that they encounter. All these are, being missed, and they are not able to articulate well. So those are, become a miss point for them rather than, just paper qualification.
Thank you for answers, but I'm still a bit blur about, like, for example, when I applied for internship, right, last time, and because I want to have a chance to explore more into electronics, company and the projects. But when I applied, I saw the requirements, most of the requirements of the electronics related internship opportunity. They only say like the suitable candidates are more towards E&E students, right? So there's no an option for mechatronics students actually consider. And when I applied, I got rejected for a lot of E&E projects. But however, I do receive the mechanical internship currently, even though it's the same company. Yeah. So how to overcome this issue, or what should I do more?
Right. Maybe I give you a piece of advice coming from another perspective, okay? May not be directly addressing what you try to answer, right? Even for myself, right, a lot of times I review all this resume, right? And particularly, for example, in my field, I'm a software, right? And more so it's more on open source, which is like Malaysia, almost like unheard of, okay? If there's a candidate coming in and say, hey, I'm an electronic, I want to explore software, right? He may be trained as electronic engineer, but if he can prove to me, for example, he has been learning on software, maybe doing some projects and submitting that into the open source GitHub and showing me that he has commands of or how to use this Git tool and how to develop some algorithm. And in his resume, he provide me a link and I just click on it and look at it. Oh, wow, he's already all these skills. I will not look at your electric background and I'm interested to talk to you because I want to know what you know. And of course, I will test why you do this and why you do that to gauge where are your level. So maybe think from that angle, right? So if you are trained as a mechanical and you want to go into electronics, could it be you prepare maybe some material, maybe in SlideShare, right, that explain about your understanding of electronics to showcase your passion and your understanding, or maybe take a small videos of what you have done, your design and the outcome, right? Put it out there, provide the link. I'm pretty sure someone will call you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Because we are running out of time and we still have a competition continue at the end, I think we have to end our session here. Okay, so I think in short, right? In short, is the panelist has actually explained to us that, I mean, the opportunity in Malaysia is never a shortage, right? There's always an opportunity. So even here, you grow your first career, you still have a lot of international exposure, especially if you are working with the MNC. Okay, then never short of overseas experience. Okay, and also many company they have actually designed very all-rounded training and developments. Okay, to help the talent to grow. Okay, and to develop their career. Okay, be it in management or technical, depending on the trade of the person. Okay, so we thank you so much to Sandy, Hani, and Woon-Young. Thank you so much, right, for your time here. Okay, so right, and then there also many thanks to the audience for staying with us for this near 1 hour. Okay, for a very fruitful discussion here. Okay, thank you once again. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I pass the session back to Nikki.
Thank you. So thank you, Ms. Liu, Ms. Ma, Mr. Ong, and Dr. Ng. So can we just request for Ms. Liu, Mr. Ong, and Ms. Ma to have your cameras on to represent your companies for the launch of Innovate Malaysia Design Competition 2023. We would also like to invite Mr. Chu Wai Heng, the Managing Director of Dreamcatcher, and Dr. Ho Po Jin, the CEO of Dreamcatcher, to please stand by for the video clip to kick off the launching of IMDC 2023. Great, thank you. Before we proceed to the next item on the agenda, we would like to take a group photo with all present here today. So may I ask that all of you turn on your cameras for a group photo? Okay, great. So thank you. You may turn off your cameras if you prefer. Ladies and gentlemen, next up is the Innovate Malaysia Excellence Award judging, which will be facilitated by my colleague, Mr. Kwee Kah Ho. The judges for Innovate Malaysia Excellence Award are Mr. Chu Wai Heng from Dreamcatcher Consulting Sdn Berhad, Mr. Siva Rama Rukumangatha Raja from the Institute of Engineers Malaysia, Mr. Indiran Nadarajan from Institute of Engineering and Technology Malaysia, Mr. Muhammad Karyallah from the James Dyson Foundation, and Dr. Norazmi Alias from Catapult Asia. For the Excellence Awards judging, the judges have the burden of responsibility to select the overall winner from among the 5 champions of the competition tracks based on the following 3 criteria. The first is innovativeness of project. The second is the impact to the rakyat. And the last is the potential for commercialization. So shown here is the judging sequence, where each team will be granted 6 minutes to present, followed by Q&A from the judges. So all the best to the teams, and let us commence judging. Mr. Quay, the room is yours.
Okay, thank you, Nikki. Hi everyone, good afternoon. Right, yeah, so we will now start our Excellence Award judging, and the sequence will be following as what you see on the screen. So the first team will be the champion from the IC design track, team MY091, with the project title Development of a Low Power IC for Virtual Reality VR Growth, from UTM Sungai Long. And the members are Michael Ng Sun Puat and also Phua Yin Sun. All right, so over to you.
Hi, can you guys see my slides?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me start.
Okay, so good afternoon to all the judges. I will be presenting on our project that is titled on Development of Low Power ADC for Haptic Gloves. So virtual reality is a really cool way to have amazing experiences that we cannot have in real life. VR headsets out there are really very cool. However, they are missing something that is very important, which is the ability to connect with the virtual world touch. VR haptic gloves is an awesome solution to this, as it can actually let you be able to interact with the virtual world. So haptic feedback gloves allows users to experience realistic touch through advanced tactile feedback. A typical haptic glove contains actuator, sensor, and a microcontroller. In a microcontroller itself, it can be seen as a small computer as it contains different blocks. As a design process of an IC could take up to a year, depending on the complexity of the design. Our objective here will fully focus on the ADC alone in the haptic glove. So, looking back to the haptic glove, most of the haptic glove made by the creators were using ESP32 as microcontroller. The use of ESP32 in the system is a significant drawback, which makes the wearable system bulky and not user-friendly. Furthermore, the ADC used in the ESP32 is a key limit, as SAR type ADC were used in the ESP32 board, which having low performance and not suitable to be implemented in fast applications such as haptic glove. So, among all of the available types of ADC, Flash ADC was frequently used in digital system nowadays due to its high conversion speed. However, a conventional Flash ADC has a drawbacks of high power consumption and relatively larger size. So our strategy here is simple, less is more, as we know that a conventional 4-bit Flash ADC contains 15 comparators, 16 resistors, and a parity encoder. In order to reduce the size, we propose a 4-bit Flash ADC that only contains 4 modified comparators and 3 multiplexers. So in Flash ADC, the comparator is the most power-consuming component. So to minimize the power consumption of the comparator without compromising the performance, current subtractor circuit was implemented into the circuit. So as we all know, power equals to voltage times current. As the output current is lower, the output power consumption will be lower as well. So after some simulation and validation, we found out that the power consumption of the proposed comparator was reduced by 50%, and the power consumption of the proposed Flash ADC was reduced by 33%. So now, as we all know, in the market nowadays, all the available VR wearables such as VR headset can provide only vision and auditory feedback. But the question is, do we really need that haptic feedback that much? What will be the benefits and what is the impact to our rakyat? So let's have a look on that. So first of all, looking at how VR has enhanced the tourism industry, the Malaysia Investment Development Authority, MIDA, continues to attract more and more local and foreign investors in the upcoming area. Not only that, the Malaysian Digital Economy Corporation, MDEC, has announced the creation of a new way to travel and book hotel rooms powered by virtual reality platform. It is available now on the website iGoRoom. So moving to the job opportunities, VR development studios And startups are also slowly leveraging Malaysia in technology investment. For example, according to MIDA, a local content developers, Putrajaya Media has successfully created their games and exported to Taiwan, Japan, and China. As such, the government through the MDEC has also set up game incubators such as Level Up in Bangsa South to offer VR enthusiasts and also entrepreneurs to experience various types of VR development kits. So as we can see now, as the VR industry grows, it's likely the development jobs of VR will grow too. So next, let's move to the education. The VR technology can be used in other verticals such as education and training simulation. For an instance, according to Associate Professor Dr. Mazura Jusso from UTM, for petroleum engineering students, visit to offshore rigs are not easy due to their remoteness and harsh environmental conditions. But with the help of VR, students can enhance their understanding of the setting of an oil and gas platform safely. The same can be said for chemical and nuclear plants, where an actual visit can be dangerous. So VR glove in VR application acts as a finishing touch in this technology. The potential of the haptic glove in VR environment is very high. Moreover, the latest 5G standard can allow more devices and larger users communities to be connected. At that point, VR wearable will be more popular and more accessible to all consumers. So all this means that VR is no longer a science fiction. It is integrated into our present and our future. And if we grab this chance to develop our own haptic glove, it will bring all the benefits that I mentioned just out to a whole new level. It's like a concept of 1 + 1 is equal to 3 or even more than that. So I believe the advantages will outweigh the disadvantages in terms of economics as well as impact. Yeah, that's all from us. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, now open for Q&A. Any question from the panel of judges?
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. I'm Siwa here on behalf of AEM, Mr. Po In Sum, right?
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
All right, thanks. This is a good project, and I believe it's the time that we are in the pandemic and moving to endemic. So many of us are working from home, right? Some of the virtual reality is actually needed also to support some hybrid work environment and so on, right? From the presentation just now, I understand that the scope of this project is basically to develop low power flash ADC, right?
Yes, correct.
And the application will be virtual reality into several dimensions, right? Can we go on education, medical, or tourism? The one thing I like to know is that how the power consumption, lower power consumption has been achieved in this design versus the existing that you have reported that the existing flash ADC having higher power consumption, right? So what is the change has been made in your design that make the power consumption lower for the ADC?
So for the question, like I would like to show a slides. Michael, can you like briefly explain the modified comparator?
Sure. Can you share the slide first?
I didn't share anything. Oh, sorry. Okay. So can you see the slides?
I can.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So as mentioned by In Sun just now, so for the conventional flash ADC, for the 4-bit, so it consists of 16 resistors with a lot of the comparator, but in our design, the multiplexer-based flash ADC, so it just consists of four comparators with three multiplexer. So as compared, so the component used for our design is much lesser. So the power consumption, of course, will be lesser. So for the modification that we perform on the comparator is that we using the current subtraction method by adding the current subtractor into the conventional comparator. So the current will be branched out to each of the branch of the current subtractor, so that the current that delivered to the PMOS of the common source amplifier will be reduced. So when the current reduced, so according to the power consumption formula where P equal to VI, so the power consumption will be reduced also. So you can continue.
One thing to note that is this design is not only can be used in this flash ADC, it can be used in other in other ADCs as well. As the comparator is the main key here, the comparator can reduce around 50% if compared to the conventional comparator, the power consumption. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for the clarification and explanation. Okay, it's made clear that the reduction of the number of multiplexer and comparator make it a low consumption. That's is given, right? When you have less component, the consumption is lower, right? And also that will make your footprint to be smaller, the size, right? The more less component is dense, then you can compact the boards, right? So that's,
yes, the area will be smaller.
Yeah, that's good. But by doing so, is there any side adverse impact that we are analyzing? That reducing the component from that? Yeah, is there anything
the drawback?
Drawback.
Yeah, the drawback is if compared to the conventional flash ADC, like the drawback is in the term of the speed.
Oh, that's the flash. It should not be flash speed, right? The ADC conversion speed, is it?
What do we mean by the speed connection?
No, which speed we are referring here is the conversion speed.
The conversion speed, yes, sir.
Yeah, the frequency.
All right, right. So that's what we're compromising by lowering the power consumption. All right.
We actually don't say we don't use the term compromising because we design for the haptic glove application. So usually a conventional flash ADC it can goes up to like maybe 1 gigahertz. So our design flash ADC can go up to like 100 kilohertz, which is higher than the SAR ADC that is frequently used in the ASP32. The maximum the SAR ADC that is used in the ASP32 can go is 6 kilohertz. So our design can go up to 100 kilohertz. Yeah. So there's no like the faster the ADC can go, it is the better. So we pick a more safe range, like 100 kilohertz for our application.
Yeah, that's a good direction or guidance, right? That means we scope the application, right? If the application just needs this, so we provide that, right? If application need more than that, we do something else, right? So that way we can manage the power consumption, because power consumption today is a key. It's a key problem for all the industry, especially for smart application that battery life is concerning for everybody, right? So the more battery life they can have is the better is. So this application will help them. Right. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Norasmi has a question.
Yeah, my question are quite simple. You know, I know this is an IC design kind of a project. So, how much have you actually implementing your design into an actual IC and put it into the so-called haptic glove? How far are you into that, right? Can you just give us how you have progressed and what's your plan, beyond this competition?
Pardon, sorry, sir. I cannot hear your question clearly. Can you repeat once again?
Okay, so my question is, I know it's an IC design project, right? So typically you need to, design, you need to tape up, and then you need to actually put your IC into the glove. So I'm just curious, how far have you got into the actual, taping out the IC and test it in the actual haptic, glove application? So can you just elaborate that? Yeah.
Actually, for our design, we only test until the in the EDA tool. We only test until the layout stage. So we only can know the power consumption. But for me, I think like the available haptic glove in the market now, they are actually super duper expensive, and they are made especially for enterprise use, and they are basically out of reach for almost all of the consumers in VR. So I believe like actually what we can find on the website online for the haptic glove for us as a consumer to use is the DIY haptic glove. So there are many open source for the drivers and all of kind of things. So our intention here is to like design is to like fill the gap in the market that the market didn't provide the haptic VR glove for the consumers. Yeah. Am I answering your question? Sorry.
Yeah, I think you explained to me. So maybe just along what you have explained, then what would be your unique selling proposition? With your design that you're trying to cater for the haptic glove with a low power IC. So what's your unique selling proposition? Because there are many other low power IC already in the market, right? So just to understand what is your so-called value proposition to potential customers.
Okay, I think we can only have one more question, Mr. Kyrie.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Can you hear me?
Yes, so, yes, sir.
All right.
Can hear.
All right. Okay. So my question is, you're focusing on the haptic glove. Is there any other application that suit with your design?
No, this IC is a custom thing, so it's actually for the application for haptic glove. Yeah.
Our main modification is on the comparators. So any device with that need the use of the comparator will be suitable for it also.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Zhu, you want to ask any question?
Yeah, I'm asking along similar line. Your innovation is more towards a low consumption ADC, right? Why do you choose haptic glove? Because low power consumption ADC is so wide. Is there a particular reason?
Because like we actually okay, like to be honest, like actually what we are doing as you all know, like what we are doing is the whole picture of the haptic IC, because we are just doing the ADC. However, we hope this serves as an effort for us as an Malaysian student in realizing the metaverse concept. So we choose haptic glove area we choose the VR area so that we can serve our effort lah. Yeah, serves as an effort for us.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Then any comment from the judges to the team?
Well, let me go first. I'm look at the proposed topic. I think the scope is clear. All right, what the team want to achieve, and also what is industry need is a lower power consumption as well, a lower profile components, right? Footprint. So that will make easy to commercialize the product, right? Right, that meet the market requirement basically. And also this low power ADC is actually the application is wide, right? Not limited to the glove application, right? It also can be used for many other application, right? Thanks.
Okay, yeah. Thanks. Yeah, then I will proceed to the next team. Thank you, team MY091.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, next. Then we have the champion from AIoT, FPGA, and embedded system track to be presenting next. The team ID is MY116 on the topic automated cell detection and characterization using AIoT for bioresearch and manufacturing towards IR 4.0. The team member is Shamhan Muat. Okay, yeah, over to you.
Can you see my slide?
Yes,
we can.
All right, so hello and good afternoon to everyone. I'm Shamhan Muat from the AIoT, FPGA, and embedded system track. So currently, cell detection and characterization has been a manual process that is dependent on human operators for many years. So after COVID-19 pandemic, our research partners at the Institute for Medical Research identified processes that had an urgent need for automation. Therefore, this project aims to automate cell culture analysis and sample handling through the implementation of AIoT. I will leave you with a 3 minutes video, then we will continue the presentation. Have you ever wondered how vaccines are tested and produced in short times? In cell biology, viruses invade cells. Therefore, researchers are in constant need for human and animal cells to validate vaccines and medicine effectiveness. To maximize cell production, a process called cell culture is used to cultivate and reproduce cells in artificial environments. In this process, cells grow over extended periods of time, and their growth rate is measured by confluency, which indicate the total percentage of cells in a cell culture sample. Ideally, 80% confluency is targeted for an optimized and continuous cell reproduction. Cell culture is even more important these days as it is a vital process in developing vaccines for COVID-19. Cell culture has traditionally been a manual process reliant on lab personnel, but it is time-consuming, difficult for non-experts, and prone to human error. Therefore, our research partners at the Institute for Medical Research Malaysia are in urgent need for a solution towards automation of the cell culture processing and characterization to eliminate these problems.
We first approached Muaz and his supervisors for this project at the end of last year, as we identified aspects of our research and processes that require optimization and improvement. Coupled with issues of remote working during COVID-19, we believe that automation and AI can greatly help us in conducting our research. We are excited to see the progress of the project, and we can certainly envision the use of AI and automation in cell characterization and frequency analysis as part of our future routine laboratory protocols. The incorporation of AI into our routine culture protocols has proven to be repeatable and provide us with consistent results. So together, with the use of a robotic arm, we can see how automation will allow us to standardize and optimize our work in the laboratory. We're also pleased to know that the system developed can be integrated with our existing equipment and that its small and modular concept will allow us to adapt with our limited working area. We look forward to testing and implementing the system in our lab, and we hope all the best for this project.
So current solutions in the market are expensive. They need a large installation space and they require a custom-built equipment. So what does our solution provide to solve these issues? First, we have a standalone design that can be integrated into any laboratory. It has a full automation capabilities as it integrates visual AI with the robotic arm for sample handling, and it provides a modular design that can be integrated with the existing equipment. So our performance uses Intel OpenVINO and Movidius neural compute stack to achieve faster predictions and better power consumption. As for the impact, one of the greatest threats that is happening to the global economy nowadays is vaccine inequity. Therefore, our project aims to help the low-income and the developing countries by making it easier to develop and manufacture vaccines. So we are targeting medical research institutes as well as biotechnology and pharmaceutical industries. Our project is also in line with this SDG number 3, which is to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. So for the value we are bringing to the market, first we have the fully automated process. We also provide a small and modular design, and we provide repeatable operations. For the commercialization plan, we are proposing a subscription-based model with two options. As the first option, it's the full automation, including the AI, the notification system, and the robotic arm, or the second option, which is the imaging system, which excludes the robotic arm. So if you compare our product with the commercial competitor in the market, we can help by reducing the space and reducing the cost needed for automation. So in conclusion, with the help of Intel products, we integrated AI on the edge we achieved an accuracy of 96% and an ROU of 66%. Our predictions are made in less than 13 seconds. We reduced the power consumption by about 85%. We integrated a robotic arm for full automation, and we integrated a mobile app for a remote and real-time notification. Thank you. That is all for me.
Okay, thank you. Open for question. Yeah, Mama Kari.
Right. Hello. Good afternoon. So I want to ask about the robotic arm.
Yes.
So the use of the robotic arm is to move the sample one by one to the microscope, I believe. Is that so?
Yes, it will replace the fully growth sample with a new sample that is newly prepared by the laboratory personnel.
All right. So I want to ask how does it operates? I mean, how it select the sample and sort it into the tray, for example.
Okay, so basically, we will connect our system to a microscope to capture the cell culture image, and then our AI algorithm will analyze the image and estimate the growth of the cell culture. So when 80% growth is detected, then the robotic arm will automatically respond to the system and replace the sample from under the microscope.
Okay, Zoom.
Yeah, my question is, you mentioned this will help in the lab. Is this at the manufacturing stage, or is this R&D stage, or characterization stage? At which stage of the lab does it help your customer, potential customer?
Or they need to produce cell culture continuously. So this will allow to automate that process, so it works without the need for human operators. So yes, during the monitoring to grow these cells in the laboratory.
So this is not the manufacturing stage. This is our R&D stage.
I'm sorry?
This is not mass rollout. This is still at the R&D stage where you require small setup. You make a comparison to a commercial system. Is that the right comparison? Are they targeting the same market segment? You see, I don't quite understand the usage model, right? Is this in the R&D stage, characterization stage? Which stage are you in? Because you make a comparison with the commercial model.
So the comparison, because first we are targeting the research industry more than the manufacturing, but we can expand to the manufacturing industry. The comparison is because this system, the commercial competitor, provides full automation as well. However, it comes with its own custom-built equipment. What we are trying to do is to reduce the cost, so we do not need to force the laboratories to buy new incubators, to buy new storage room just to implement the commercial competitor. So we just provide what they need, and they can just integrate with their own equipment. So it's more convenient for smaller labs. They do not need to make larger space for the commercial competitor.
Throughput wise?
Sorry?
In terms of throughput, how is that throughput comparison between the commercial system and your system?
We are comparing first we have a standalone design. We only need one workbench to install our system. We do not need an entire room. We also provide the modular design. So
what I mean is speed, in terms of speed. Do you make a comparison of the speed between the commercial? Because I'm trying to understand, why is your system cheaper, right? Why can't your competitor make it cheaper? Is it because they target a very high throughput system and yours target a, you can tolerate a slower system? Why? I still can't understand.
Actually, the process takes days to finish. So it takes 7 to 14 days for the cell culture to fully grow. So in terms of the speed, both can work like conveniently for our target customers. Our system also can do all the analysis within 13 seconds. So there is no need for a human operator to be there. Just run the system, and it will monitor the cell culture throughout that time.
Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Nurasmi.
Yeah, I think my question just quite straightforward. So what's the communication protocol between your solution that you have in the lab versus the so-called operator, which could be somewhere in their home, right? So can you explain the communication protocol between your solution and also the person in the away from the lab? Can you elaborate that for me?
Yes, the operator can run the system in the lab and just work from home. The system will automatically communicate with the operator using a mobile app. It will give updates about the sample and the growth level of, using the AI algorithm.
Yeah, I think my question will be, what will be the so-called, are you using Bluetooth, are you using Wi-Fi? How does it work? I mean, to go to the user at home.
Using Wi-Fi, we are integrating with the an application called Push Bullet API, so it can work with any smartphone or any laptop using internet Wi-Fi.
Okay. Thank you.
Indira?
Yeah, just one question from my side. Can I know what is exactly automated here compared to the manual process, Shaman? Because I only see the robotic arm. Can you explain in your product here what is exactly has been automated?
Okay, so normally a laboratory personnel need to sit on the microscope and analyze the cell growth. They need to be present in the lab, and they need to replace samples continuously if they need to check more than one sample. So we cover all of that. We can replace the human operator with our system, where the AI will do all the imaging analysis needed by the microscope, and then the robotic arm can only replace the samples and to test multiple samples at the same time.
So in this case, that you don't need to anyone in the lab can,
Yes,
can be is it be unmanned?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any comment from judges?
Maybe I can add a comment.
Sure.
Yeah. So I believe with the current trend and the process, AI is one of the important things, and I think we are heading towards the IR 4.0. This is a good product, and I believe it's in a very preliminary stage, and probably we need to look into more prospect in this project for commercialization. Yep.
Yeah, maybe I just add my comment here. I think just along the same line, it's a good way forward towards having less human dependent kind of activity. Though the test is very straightforward in terms of taking the so-called cell a container and then do the measurement by using the AI and using the robotic arm. I think it's going to be a lot more automation you can expect from the research lab, right? So I think this will be taking away not just like in manufacturing, I think taking away a lot of routine work from the researcher, so researcher can focus more of a high value added thinking activity and also trying developing new ideas. So this routine measurement can be done by robots, right? And using IoT. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I also want to add something for in terms of, because this involve two components, the AI and also the robotic arms. In terms of the AI, I think it's very good. It's can replace the operator, but I think the robotic arm can be improved a lot further. I think because if you compare to the competitor, we have the well already established robotic arms that can handle maybe a good precision, but I think you don't in terms of your presentation, I don't see the much benefit, much comparison between the operating arms from the competitor to the one your design. Yeah, I think that that's the things can improve further.
Okay, thanks for
maybe
the feedback.
Kaho, if I can add on.
Yeah, sure.
I think you are in a very good position because you have a real customer, IMR, who came to you. I really hope you continue working with them, because I think to go straight to say you're better than the competition, that is a bit hard to accept for many customers. But if you really can meet the, you can really solve the problem of this particular customer, I think you will understand better and keep improving. I think that's a great opportunity. And I think you're probably halfway there, if not more, right? So congratulations on achieving that.
Thank you, and thanks to all the judges for the comments.
All right. Okay. Thank you, team. Team 116. Okay. Then we shall proceed to the next presenter. So the next presenter is from Electronic Design and Test Applications track, team MY032, with the project title Cuffless Blood Pressure Measurement in Portable Home-Based Vital Sign Monitor with Mobile Application. And the team members are Kwek Yi Yun, Lim Su Shen, and also So Xiao Wei. Okay, over to you.
Good evening to all the panelists. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, so good afternoon to all the panels. We are from team MY032, and this is our honor to share with you our project and invention named Pascalogy. It's a cuffless blood pressure meter with mobile application based on pulse transit time technique for home care service, and our tagline is Pascalogy, the guardian of cardio. So do you notice anyone around you who is suffering from cardiovascular disease? And according to the World Heart Federation, cardiovascular disease, or we call it as a CVD, is actually the world's #1 killer, which has taken 18.6 million of lives annually. And CVD accounted of 33% of the global deaths, and more than 75% of the deaths are actually happens in low and middle income countries. And hypertension is actually one of the risk factors that cause CVD. And do you know that there is 1 in 3 adults that are actually suffering from the hypertension? So among 3 of us, there may be 1 of us are actually having hypertension, and we may not know that we are actually having high blood pressure. So some of the patients, they actually requires frequent blood pressure monitoring, so they will use the conventional cuff-based blood pressure monitor. However, this type of the blood pressure monitor will cause pain, discomfort, and even skin disease at the upper arm. And due to the nature size of the cuff, it causes bulky and large, and also inconvenience to travel around. And it is also a non-rechargeable solution that requires frequent replacement of the batteries. So the cuffless blood pressure monitor may be a better solution to overcome all these cuff-based blood pressure monitor, but there's actually problems that exist in the current cuffless blood pressure monitor, such as it is highly inaccurate and insensitive. For example, like the application tonometry is actually unable to provide systolic and diastolic blood pressure, and it actually depends on the restriction band, which also cause discomfort to the patient. And also, like, the mobile health app has shown that 77.5% of false hypertensive according to the study. So besides, some of the cuffless solution actually designed individualized, which requires frequent cuff calibration and does not encourage for the device sharing. So lastly, the current cuffless solution provides short monitoring, which is only taking 1 measurement at a time, and does not, that we cannot be unable to detect any short changes in the blood pressure. So hereby, we'd like to introduce our solution, which is Pascalogy. It's actually a cuffless solution that supports the continuous monitoring with good accuracy, which based on the hybrid sensors and the PTT technique, and having a mobile application that supports the IOMT and real-time trend analysis. The device also uses an embedded technology, and which has the wireless communication, which is the Bluetooth we are using here, and auto alarming system, and have support features that are comparable to the other solutions, such as a rechargeable battery, and it's also a pocket-sized portable, and last but not least is affordable. So as we compare to the other commercial solution, Pascalogy actually offers some of the unique features which supports the continuous blood pressure monitoring, which does not require frequent calibrations, as well as a real-time trend display. So this Pascalogy also offers some of the other comparable features with other commercial devices, such as having a rechargeable battery, have a Bluetooth communication, and also the mobile app support. It also allows device sharing, just like other device they offer, but this invention is currently in the stage that's not able to support leadless sensor. So in terms of our customer segment and the potential market, our customer segment or our targeted clients will be the public community, which this can apply as a cuffless blood pressure monitor to be used as a home care service or used in a home care monitoring. So while in the potential market of this device is quite wide, where we know that people at the high risk of the hypertension accounted for the worldwide is around 1.13 billion of people, which while in the US is actually nearly half of the adults that are actually having hypertension, which consists of 160 million of people, while in the European Union, there are 22% of the population which age 15 years and above having high blood pressure, and most importantly, we can see the data in Malaysia, there are 6.4 million of people actually having hypertension. So focusing on the Malaysian market, as we know that there are 8.2 million of household, and therefore 1.39 million of people are our targeting clients that have hypertension, and actually they are coming from M40 and T20 household incomes categories. So in the global market, on the other hand, assuming that we are targeting 1% of the hypertension population and our targeting selling price is around $150, which is actually 40% lower compared to the other commercial products. So the sales that we able to approximate is around 1.7 billion USD. So in conclusion, this solution can actually bring impacts to rakyat and Malaysia. It actually brings painless and continuous blood pressure monitoring for the patient in need and enable early detection of the blood pressure problems. And it always encourage a healthy lifestyle for the public community. On the other hand, for the nation development, healthy rakyat is actually the key asset of the nation development. So when the rakyat is able to receive any early treatments, it actually can reduce expensive medical costs, which is actually which can further causing economic burden. So lastly, the homegrown invention with huge global market can actually generate more national income. So that's all from us. Thank you.
Okay, open for questions from judges.
Hello.
Yep.
Alright. So I'm based on your design and also the competitor out there, you're saying that yours more comfortable to use. I see that you are using electrode patches to put into the human body to monitor the blood pressure, right? So how reliable it is to stay at this place if you are going to wear it all day?
Okay, for our current time, because we are using the ECG electrodes, so after our discovery, we actually found that motion artifacts is causing the measurement is not very stable. So for our in the future, we are planning to change the ECG electrodes into dual PPG sensors, which is more attachable to the body. So when the patient is moving around, it won't cause a lot of motion artifacts that can cause the instability of the measurement.
If I can add, I don't understand, just now you mentioned the accuracy of conventional one using pressure, diastolic and systolic measurement, right? Using pressure is not as accurate as yours, and yours is using some electrodes. How does that work?
Actually, for our stage, because we are actually due to some limitations, and we actually just done our preclinical evaluation on some volunteers in our university. So in the future, we are targeting to do some clinical evaluation in the hospital to actually measure on hypertension and hypotension patient. So according to the other commercialized products, they are actually standards they are actually meeting. So some of them they claim that their product is meeting the AMI blood pressure standards, while the others they only stated their accuracy.
So you are merely using electrodes to check blood pressure.
It's actually using the hybrid sensor. We're using the ECG and the PPG sensor to obtain.
What is a PPG? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. PPG is the photoplethysmography signal.
How does that work? If you can give a layman explanation. Is there any pressure? Is there air involved at all?
Okay, for the ECG actually we are taking the peak of the ECG, which is actually the starting of the systole of our part. So the PPG we are taking from the fingertip. So when there is a peak there, so it means that there is a pulsatile wave which reach the fingertip. So when there's a one cycle of the systole, so the blood will pump from the heart and reach the fingertip. So the distance the time to reach from the heart to the fingertip, we can measure it using the peak between the ECG and the PPG, and we obtain the pulse transit time value.
And from the value, you infer the pressure.
Yeah, we have some by using the pulse transit time technique, and also we are obtain the user height. So we can derive from the Morse quadratic equation to obtain the pulse wave velocity, and after that we have the systolic and the diastolic blood pressure equation, and from there we can calculate for the blood pressure.
Is there a reason this technique is not being employed today in most of the commercial blood pressure monitoring?
For what I have studied is that there's actually a few limitations, such as just what I mentioned before, is like the motion artifacts. And actually, like what I did during my experiment, I actually found that this approach is not really mature to measure for patients with have negative outpeaks and also small ECG. So we might need further exploration in the signal acquisition algorithm from that. So like why cuffless blood pressure monitor is not actually existing, is actually existing, but it's not really implemented in our hospital or our home care is due to the reliability, and and most of it are still under research.
Okay, thank you.
Indira?
Thank you. I have a question, because since this is going to be used, probably it's a continuous monitoring and all. So those kind of sensors and devices that you're using, and also with wireless technology, so probably there is some kind of a radiation or emission. So how do you ensure these are actually within the acceptable range, and what kind of a standard that you are referring to ensure that this is safe to be used or commercialized?
Okay, so for the blood pressure monitor, one of the standard is the AAMI and ISO 81060 standard, which actually requires a minimum of 85 patients to be involved in the clinical evaluation. So for currently, we haven't reached that phase yet, and in the future we may try our best to conduct any evaluation further to validate this device. And for the circuit wise, because we actually didn't test it out of such as using other like failure method or other like burn in the manufacturer. So we might need to test it out in the future also. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any comment from judges for the team?
I think I just have a comment. I think it seems like the technique is still in a very early preliminary stage. I need a lot more so-called characterization done to compare with the so-called gold standard in the market. So I think it has potential, but certainly will require a lot more characterization done up front, right? So I think before it's ready to go to the next stage. Yeah.
Yeah, if I may comment, yeah, I agree with Dr. Nasmi in terms of potential is very huge, right? Like for example, even my own wife, she always have a white coat syndrome. Right? I think you're familiar with white coat syndrome, right? Where her blood pressure will just go up when she see a doctor, right? I think this kind of system will help her a lot. But I think there need to be a bit more narrow focus, because the technique has to be explored further. And I think it'd be nice if you focus a bit on the technique rather than worry too much about so many things to full implementation. It has a very, very high potential. But I think that because today is all a direct pressure method. If you can focus on that, I think you will learn a lot better and find interesting things, right? But it's a very interesting field to be in.
Okay, thank you, judges. All right, next, thanks, team MY032. Next, we'll proceed to the team, the champion from Data Analytics and AI Applications track. Team ID is MY122 with the project title Autonomous Mobile Robot with a Smart Plant Biosecurity Monitoring System for Indoor Agriculture from UTM. Okay, the team members are Jia Sheng, Koba, and also Anas Ismail Hassan. Okay, over to you.
Hello, so can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
And can everyone hear my voice?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So a very good day to everyone. My name is Jia Sheng, and together with me are my teammates, Anas and Shokna. So today we are going to present our product, the AgroBot, an omnidirectional armed robotic vehicle for plant health monitoring, and this project is supervised by Associate Professor Dr. Yong Chi Fai. So we are all well aware of the major contribution of agriculture sector in Malaysia. It is one of the three main economic sectors in Malaysia after service and industry sector, with 8.94% of average GDP contributed in the past 10 years and 100 billion ringgit of total GDP is contributed in 2019. And last year, Malaysia recorded a 75.6% growth in export in agriculture sector, more than any other sector in Malaysia. And to maintain and increase the growth of the crop and also overcome food shortage, we must always ensure high crop yield, quality, and production, as well as its safety. But there are problems to this. First, is the major loss of crop yield, quality, and production of plant disease. Second, the inability of farmers to detect plant disease unaided in the early stages. And with the conventional methods, it's time-consuming to analyze the health of each plant and the lack of taking soil conditions into account for plant disease analysis. To further realize our project, we have engaged with a customer, which is Mr. Haniza, the co-founder of Pasakita. He owns the Melini Edible Farm in Johor and it is our evaluation site. So we have interviewed with the farmers and also our clients about the problem faced by the farmers in monitoring plant health. They earn a low average salary of 1,500 ringgit, but in a day they have to carry out so many activities, including the monitoring of plant health. So they prefer us to set our priority to solve the plant disease problem because they use biological methods to control pests and mulching to disturb the growth of the weed. So therefore, we have our solution, the armed robotic vehicle. Mainly, we have four major elements. First is the mobile platform. We have a low chassis configuration and a high chassis configuration. For low chassis, it is targeted to be indoor farm, and high chassis is for outdoor farm. And our mobile platform can also control by two manual control with Bluetooth RC controller and joystick. And we can also have autonomous mode for the mobile platform, which we use closed loop navigation and also vision slam navigation. So for the robot arm, We design such that it covers the motors and the wires entirely so that it protects them from the surroundings. And for the maximum reach for our robot arm is 0.85 meters, and the maximum plant height that can be monitored by our robot arm is 1.238 meters. So we also utilize the use of soil sensor to measure temperature, pH, moisture, and salinity of the soil. So this is our main highlight, which is the AI for plant health monitoring. We target to monitor brinjals. Why specifically that? Because brinjal is one of the most common plant in Malaysia, and it is one of fast-growing plants with these 3 diseases. So we process through the normalized difference vegetation index, which we detect the vitality of the plant. As you can see from the picture from the right side, it is healthy when it's green in color and unhealthy when it's red in color. So this is the performance of our AI system in visual spectrum. We detect the circle leaf spot and EBs, early blight symptoms on the leaf, and on the eggplants, we detect the fruit rot symptoms. And this is the performance of our NDVI system. And this is the performance of our AI model. We have an accuracy of 71.43%. And we also utilize the use of dashboard for farmers to view the health of the plants as well as the soil conditions. And this is our bill of material for building the product. We are honest that our product costs 5,500 ringgit, but with the sponsors and we managed to reduce it to 1,200 ringgit. So how can our product help? Our product saves the farmers time and reduce their large workload, as plant health monitoring is a time-consuming activity, and our product also help farmers to detect asymptomatic plant diseases in their early stages so that action can be taken before it's too late. So we target smallholders farmers and farm owners who own indoor and outdoor farms, fruit and vegetable farms. Why specifically that? 97% of fruit and crops farmed in Malaysia are operated by smallholders farmers. And how can we sell our product? Our priority is to list, and we can also sell the product with a 50% profit, and I guarantee you the ROI in 6 months. And we can also sell the data sets to anyone who wishes to use our data for machine learning. And for our value proposition, our robot is modular and reconfigurable. We can target for both outdoor farms and indoor farms. And our robot can also be attached to a spraying, grass cutting, and also harvesting module. We also utilize the use of soil sensor to measure the soil conditions, and is one of the major factors that the occurrence of the plant disease. And by leveraging the soil conditions and the NDVI images, it helps to predict the occurrence of the plant disease, and we also allow NDVI processing using affordable hardware. So what's next for us? As we evaluate our product in the farm environment for 1 month, we have sparked the interest for industry partners. We are glad to say that we are currently in partnership with them to further develop the AI for monitoring, pollinating, and harvesting in indoor strawberry farms and other farms with the sponsor for robot hardware and the robot arm. So our project also recognized by CREST, Catapult Asian Subsidiary Berhad, and also WeChalks Architect from WeChalks Corporation Berhad. And we also like to thank our sponsors and industry partners for trusting us in this project. And thank you. And now you show the demo video. Okay, and that's all for our presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's open for question.
Yeah, maybe I go first. You mentioned that this concept is applicable for small farmers, but I thought that in a bigger farm, there's even more problem, right? Because I don't have traditionally the job of identifying diseases goes to an expert person, right? And today there are not many people who wants to be in this industry. So in a big farm, why is it that you are only targeting small timer? In a big farm, I can see that you can go around doing sampling for soil and also trying to recognize the diseases. What is stopping you from addressing the bigger farm?
Okay. First of all, I want to say about the smallholders farmers. Actually, the definition of smallholders farmers is very subjective. Okay, in a sense that you can say some people say that there's only 2 hectares, but there's research say that it could be up for 4 hectares to 10 hectares for land. Actually, it's considered very big. We cannot say that smallholders farmers is definition of farmers who own a small amount of land. That's all. So we can say that we can also target for very large. Just the terms are different. Yeah.
No, maybe I'll rephrase. Is there a reason why it work only, let's say, 1 to 10 acres and not 100 acres? Isn't 100 acres consists of 100 times 1 acre? Is there some limitation in your system?
There's no limitations for that. But of course, if you want to speed up the process, maybe you have to deploy 2 robots, maybe more than 1. Yeah, because a large farm.
Okay.
I have a quick question on this. We are talking about the robot arm, where the coverage and everything need to be considered. So what is the lifetime, the battery time for the use model for the robot arm?
You mean the robot arm?
Yes.
Okay, for the robot arm, currently, because we are using we are using lead acid battery, so it can last up to, let's say if you continuous using, because 1 battery is targeted for this robot arm, let's say you continue using, it could be operate for 2 hours and more. Yeah.
So the use time is about 2 hours, is that?
And more.
2 hours and more. Okay. All right. And after that, it need to be take it out from the field and put it for charge, correct?
Yes, for charge.
Right. So there will be, so we cannot put that into the field for some time to get all the information needed, correct? So we have to do all that data gathering or data crunching within 2 hours time. Is that how this work?
For this question, because can you rephrase the question? Sorry about that.
The question is the use time. How long we can put this robot arm into the field to monitor and also to capture all the information needed. And I believe there is a processing taking place, right, while this capture. So, so let's say the use time is for 2 hours, right?
Pardon me, sir. You meant the whole robot, right? Not only the robot arm, right?
Sorry, what is that?
You mean the whole robot? How long can the whole robot
Yeah,
be in
the system,
field,
the
right?
system itself, the arm and the motor and everything, because that need to go around, right? The field.
Yes. So is everything last time we test is like 2 hours, 2 hours and more. Yeah, of course we use the battery with degraded, with a bit of degraded battery, so it will shorten the time also.
All right, all right. And then there is a system in the implemented that before the expiry of the battery, there should be some storage need to take place, right? So the storage is still intact, even the battery is lost.
Pardon? About there's a system for the storage, right? What you
Yeah,
mean?
correct. So because there is a processing, there is a data acquisition will take place on this system, right? So how that is being preserved when the battery is lost?
If I may answer this, so the data is actually sent via Wi-Fi to and the online dashboard as mentioned, that's occurring in real time. Once the processing is done, it is sent to those and so to the dashboard. And the processing takes about, so for the longest thing to process there is basically the visual based plant disease detection. So that takes about 10 seconds or so. So once that is done, it will go straight. So yeah, unfortunately, if the system, of course, if the system is about to die, we will stop the process and have the robot return to its station.
So it's a monitoring to detect the battery level within the system to say that, okay, now the motor or the robot need to return back to the station.
Yes, sir. That's what it is, yeah.
Okay. Maybe the alternative for that is you need to see whether can I have alternate energy to power that system, right? So that will help for longer period, right, or continuous, that we can put that system into the field and then we can collect the data as we need, right? Because even the data being transferred real time to wherever system, so that also consume time, consume power through the Wi-Fi or any other means, right? Okay, thank you.
Gary?
Right. So this system is work for outdoor and indoor. I want to ask about is it can work in any weather, or is it need to be done only during the sunny day? And then second one is after multiple usage of the soil sensor, how do you prevent it from affecting the accuracy of the reading, and also to stop spreading the disease from one plant to another?
Okay. So for the first question is about the weather, right? So of course, our robot can operate in any weather except for rainy weather. This is one part. Or I think because the farmers also stop their farming during unfavorable weather. As for the cross contamination, what you meant about the soil sensor, of course, after the soil sensor injects into each plot, right? Let me give you this slide about the O-ring. Let's say before going to another plot, the soil sensor will be jabbed into a sponge absorbed with fungicide for sanitization to prevent cross contamination for other plots. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe?
I saw that your system has two parts, right? One is symptom. You look at the symptom, look at whether the leaf is okay, which I think is very, very nice, and you use AI. But the other part, you look at the cause of the problem, right? You check the soil. Why soil only? Because cause of problem, there are many, right? It can be insect, can be the air, can be the water, there's so many. Why only soil? Why only you check soil? Shouldn't you just have a one system?
Yes, indeed. What is this? We use soil. One of the the diseases, right, fruit rot, is actually caused by fluctuations in soil moisture. Yes, other diseases are also caused by, say, air pollutants and whatnot. But soil is also a major tell. The soil condition is a major tell as to whether the plant is in a healthy environment or not. Yeah.
What about, like, for example, the sunlight, right? Certain part don't grow very well. My point is, you have a system that check symptom, which is very nice. I like that very much. But in terms of the cause, you are only focused on one part, right? You're not focusing on other things. Is that by design, or is that just a starting point? I don't quite get that.
Okay, so it's not only by soil actually. The NDVI system also detects, like, say, water stress, and like mentioned just now, sunlight. So if so how NDVI works is based on the reflectance of NIR light. So if you have more chlorophyll, if the plant has more chlorophyll, then it reflects more light. So basically, even the NDVI helps in terms of the sunlight absorption of the plant lah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And any comments from the judges to the team?
Yeah, maybe I just comment. This is a project that I happen to be involved in their development. I think what as an industry player, we are excited because it's the first time we see the whole solution are put together, and we were never looking at a perfection in terms of the solution, but I think the vast in terms of the technology that's been put together and ability to to ensure how we can correlate measurement from the soil to the what you see on the on leaf of the plant and also on the vegetable itself. I think that kind of giving a good possibility you can create the next version of this product, so that it can help more of the not just smallholders, of those who actually grow multiple crops, right? I think the issue here when you're growing a monocrop is much more straightforward, but when you're growing multiple crops, you need some sort of automated solution, which is what this team have put together. I think it has quite some time. That's my.
Okay, any more comment?
Yeah, for me, maybe Carl, I can comment. I think it's a very interesting system because I think for too many years we have been relying on the all guru knowledge. When a guru see a leaf and they say, oh, this is lacking sunlight, this is lacking this, lacking that, right? So you are building that knowledge into your database. I think it'd be very nice if you can focus on the database. Just now you mentioned about the database, and also even focus on symptom is good enough, because I'm still not very convinced about the soil and that kind of thing. I think that could be separated out, because if you are able to really tell something is going wrong and take proactive action, right, that is very useful already. And if you can extend it to many different kind of plants, that is very useful, because in a small holding environment, you have multiple plants. You don't have only one plant, and you can build a database. I think the database is probably more important than just the fact whether your robot can go and probe the soil. I think that should be, I feel that is for another day. I think the symptom, they need to be more focused on the database and the learning from different kind of plants.
I just want to add to that too. I think one thing that I see by having a player like Pasar Kita who actually engaging with many different farms, you can have access to more farmers, more information. I think these are the kind of network that require to build such a solution. So I think having industry support that's willing to provide you the access to the farm, I think that's very important. That's a very key aspect.
That's where you collect your intelligence, your database.
Pardon me, I would like to add on Mr. Chu, your concern regarding the soil moisture, the soil sensor. So the soil sensor is actually a request from Pasar Kita. When we talked to them, they requested to have a soil sensor actually.
Sure. But that will have effect. It will, when you don't you try to do too many things, you don't focus on something, it will have impact. For example, your robot may not go very far, you have cross contamination and so on and so forth. You have different. I'm not saying there is no value. I'm saying that focus, right? Any successful thing need focus and need only to do one thing very well, right? And your real innovation is database, not even your robot. It's your database, because it's your robot helping you to collect database. That's more important. That's my perception.
Okay, thank you. Then I think we shall proceed to the next team. So today, the last team to present, okay, the champion from the Smart Applications track, and it's coming from team MY180 with the project title Development of an Automatic Number Plate Recognition Double Authentication System in a Car Park Setting. From Taylor's University, the member is Azilan Pirai One. Okay, sorry if I read wrongly. Okay, over to you.
Okay. Hi, can you guys hear me and see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. So my project is the development of an automatic number plate recognition double authentication system in a car park setting. Currently, I just finished my final semester of EE engineering, and my supervisor is Dr. Pang Swee King. So ANPR does, well, a little bit about the background. In December of 2020, it was reported that over 17 million vehicles were registered. And over the past 12 years, starting from 2010 to 2021, there has been a new number of registered vehicles has been over 7 million, which is about 550,000 over per year from 2010 to 2021. Now, combining this with the fact that, according to the Department of Statistics retrieved on the 1st of July 2022, over 40% of all property-related crime involves vehicle theft. And this, coupled with the fact that there's no real validation of the driver occurring at car parks, this raises the question of safety and security at car parks. So my project, a development of the ANPR DAS, the system architecture involves a database based using SQLite and several files to develop the front end part, which is HTML, CSS, and certain images, and the main logic using Python and JavaScript. This all combined to create a web application that can be used by the user as well as security. Now, I say web application because over the course of my project and receiving the mentoring from Dreamcatcher, the scope of my project has changed, and to fit with my time constraints and limitations, I created a web application. So this is the front page of the web application, where the user will be greeted with a user page button as well as a security console button, which will be accessed by the security. And when the car enters, the car image is taken, the number plate data is identified and stored, and a QR code is generated. And the QR code will be sent to the driver for safekeeping. When the driver is going to exit, the same driver will have to send back the QR code, which will be decoded, and the information from the QR code will be seen to whether it matches with the information available in the database, and if so, the driver will be allowed to exit. And this is the security console, which acts sort of like a data logger for the security to monitor. Now, what exactly is the innovators of this project? Well, based on the literature review that I've conducted and current systems, or rather current research projects available, involve ANPR and facial recognition-based system, as well as a two-factor identification that uses ANPR and RFID. Now, the disadvantages for the ANPR and facial recognition-based system is that both factors of identification rely on good and strong lighting. So, if one factor fails, the entire system has failed. Whereas for ANPR and RFID, they require an external gadget installation. Now, this comes in the form of either a RFID sticker or RFID card. And, if it is lost or damaged or misplaced, the system fails. And if it is a sticker, it doesn't really authenticate the driver itself. Moreover, it just authenticates the car. So when I went to lens.org, I carried out a patent search using the keywords double authentication system, comprising of ANPR, automatic number plate recognition, and QR code in car parks. Now, based on the results, 48 patents were yielded, but none of them actually combined, ANPR and QR together. So, there is strong conviction to say that my research will be able to yield at least one patent. And this is the overall system configuration. As you can see, it's just ANPR and QR code, and both factors of identification should match to authenticate the driver. So what exactly is the impact to the rakyat? Well, first of all, it authenticates the driver to the corresponding vehicle. Therefore, non-corresponding drivers cannot exit. It's easily accessible with smartphones, as almost everyone owns a smartphone. It is versatile because the QR code system can be improved to include more information, such as make and model of the car, details of the driver, such as name, image, and so on. And it is a seamless system that can be working at the car park because it is fast and easy to use. So what exactly is the potential of commercialization for this project? Well, global statistics show there is a growth. For example, in the US, the US automatic number plate recognition system market size started at USD 1.9 billion in 2018, with an expected compound annual growth rate of 6.8%. All going from 2019 all the way to 2025. So, there is a steady growth, and this coupled with the fact that there are number of vehicles being registered increasing as well, and that will require more car parks and more car parking bays. So this shows that there is real business opportunity. So a bit about the financials. Well, for the business model, a startup can be created to focus on further developing this product and refining it and providing a platform to sell the product. A marketing strategy would have considered two options: perhaps a licensing option that is a subscription model. An estimated price would be 2,000 ringgit, for example. And if the option two would be selling the total system, which would combine the software and hardware, which would be around 10,000 ringgit. 2,000 for the license, as well as 8,000 for the desktop camera and miscellaneous equipment such as cables and different sensors. Now, these are just ballpark figures. For financials, well, according to KLI2 source, there are 6,419 parking bays in KLI2. Now, if we assume that in Selangor, there are about an estimate of 1,000 car parks, an estimated total of 100,000 car parking spaces, and if we take the capturing of the market from 4%, 8% to 10% over the course of 3 years, as you can see, for option one and option two, it goes from 80,000 ringgit to 200,000 ringgit income generated. And for option two will be, so option one and option two will be 400,000 to 1 million ringgit generated. Now, these are just rough figures, as there's no real statistics on how many car parks there are available in Malaysia. And this is just an estimate. And also, there is great potential for this project to be marketed all across Malaysia, as I said, within Selangor, but this can be marketed across Malaysia and regionally to other ASEAN countries. And with that, I would like to conclude, and thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. And open for questions. Kyrie.
Hello. Hello. So I want to ask about the generation of the QR code.
Yeah.
Is there some algorithm to generate it? Is it unique or is it just a text that anyone can generate? Because the main purpose is for preventing car theft. So how do we prevent from the thief to configure how the QR is generated and maybe make a fake QR to impersonate the driver?
Right. Okay. So in the project, the QR code is a simple generation based on the text, but it uses the unique row ID. And what it can include is a certain random symbol generator, or rather hashing the data available in the code, so that every time it is generated is something unique and it cannot really be faked. It's not just dependent on, for example, ABC123. There would be some other symbols added to it that is unique to the driver and the vehicle entering.
All right. Another question is, I don't understand how the user is given the QR code when they're entering the car park. Is it they need to pre-subscribe to the system? Or,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand. This project was carried out with the intention that it applies for registered customers, so such as office spaces or hospitals where there are like nurses or like people who are registered coming in. So it will be actually linked to their phone number. But as I said earlier, due to limitations, this was created sort of like a web application, but the idea was to link it to their phone number. So yes, like you said, it would be for pre-registered customers.
Okay.
Yeah, Dr. Rasmi.
Yeah, and have you done any implementation of your idea? And how far have you progressed of
Okay.
getting a prototype?
Right, I understand. Actually, due to the constraints, the implementation was just as far as to see whether it can generate and send the QR code based on a data set of images that I obtained online, so open source data set images. I haven't actually tested it with a camera yet, so that is as far as I've gotten. But there is progress that can be done.
So in going along with that line of thinking, so assuming you have done a prototype, so how would you market this product? Because I think you have a lot more of other, parking, solution already out there with that, I know, and you have people like Touch and Go and whatnot.
Right.
So how do you, bring your product to the market?
Okay. The main focus is that if for a touch and go card, or in Aeon, for example, you get a parking ticket, parking ticket. Sorry, they rely on external gadgets and all that. This relies on the customer itself to validate him or herself. So, and it relies on their phone. So they don't really require sort of external gadget like touch and go, for example, that you mentioned. It gives more sort of autonomy to the driver. I will validate myself and I will exit the vehicle with the vehicle. That is the focus.
All right, thank you.
Indiran?
Yeah. Thanks for your presentation.
Yeah.
Can I understand in terms of using this QR code?
Okay.
So basically, the QR code is generated through the system. Can you explain how the entry and exit works? Okay, number plate recognition. This works whereby the display probably is showing the number plate.
Right.
But how do you integrate this QR code? Whereby is it like a notification to the driver when their car exit the parking, or is it they have to scan the QR code and then only they can exit the parking?
Right. Okay. So when they enter, the number plate data is taken, the QR is generated and sent to the driver. So once the QR code has been received by the driver, the console will detect that the QR code has been sent, and then the driver will enter. So when the driver has to exit, he or she will stop before the boom gate, and the driver will have to send the QR code back to the console. So what the console will do is then decode the information from the QR code, see whether it matches, and if it does match, the gate will open and the driver will exit. So it relies on the driver to send back the QR code, the correct QR code.
So how do you send it back? Is it through the mobile, or you have a console to read the QR code?
It is through the mobile, and the console will detect that I received the QR code image. It'll then decode and then check the information.
Okay, so can I say that if let's say the phone is dead, probably the phone battery is dead, then you're not able to exit the parking lot?
Yeah, I assume that would be the case, but that was not kept in mind when developing this. But yes, but I
Okay.
assume because it is registered with their phone number, so there will
Okay.
be a way to verify even with when the phone is dead.
Okay. Right. So this system works in probably I can call it in probably parking for office staff, which are pre-registered cars. But
Sure.
how do you think that when a payment gateway comes into the picture that you can utilize the same platform? Because you will have to also pay the parking and you also have to send out the QR code.
Yeah.
Do you think that you will be able to integrate all these things together? Just want to know the point of view because you're looking into commercialization, right? So
Right,
just want to
right.
understand. Yeah.
Okay, from my understanding and my knowledge, I think the QR code system itself will become an e-ticketing system. So perhaps it'll be for each office space, there will be sort of an e-wallet attached to the registered customer. So, it'll just automatically, remove the fund and they'll have to add on to the e-wallet, for example. That is how I would be looking at refining it to sort of add the payment plan.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Okay, thank you. And any comment from judges or teams?
Okay, so my comment, I think, I think for you maybe need to think more about the user scenarios. For example, if because this one is being to be used by the user, and then there's a lot of scenarios that may happen. For example, that the one that mentioned by Mr. Indran, for example, what if the phone is not working and then
Yeah.
internet connection is not very good in that scenario, so we need to have another solution maybe.
Right.
Anyway, it's good potential. I think can be improved a lot better.
All right. Thanks.
Maybe I comment. I think it's interesting you did a patent search. I think that's quite nice because I think a lot of time technology doesn't equal success, right? I think you did a patent and that's quite nice. I think maybe what perhaps if you are really thinking of commercialization, I think we must start with a real user to try out because it's not about how complicated or how sophisticated the system is. There are many issues and there are many different kind of configuration that can exist. So I think what you lack is maybe
user feedback,
a user to empathy, design thinking to do that.
Right. Okay. Right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, team MY180. Right, so now we comes to the end of this excellence award judging, and may I request the judges to move to another discussion room to actually decide the winner. Right, and then we shall proceed for our next agenda and pass back to MC Nikki.
While the judges deliberate, we will move on to the announcement of the full list of winners for the IMDC 2022 competition tracks. So just a quick note, there will be a photo session for all the winners of the respective tracks at the end of the announcement. So please be prepared to turn on your cameras. So the first announcement is for the IC design track. Okay, congratulations. I would like to invite all the winners for this IC design track to turn on your cameras so that we can have a group photo. Also, I think we would like to invite a representative from Intel, Ms. Ui. And so do we have any team advisors here today? Supervisors and as well, if you have.
Yeah, hi. I think we have EY Tech here. EY, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, so EY and I are the rep from Intel.
Okay. Okay, Kam, can you count us down? Kam?
Okay, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Congratulations to the winners of the IC Design track. Next, we will be announcing the winners of the AIoT, FPGA, and Embedded Systems track. Okay, again, I would like to invite the winners, team advisors, and track sponsor representative from Intel, Ms. Ui, to turn on your cameras for a group photo. Thank you. So up next is the Electronic Design and Test Applications track. Okay, so again, we'd like to invite the winners, team advisor, and track sponsor representative from Keysight, Mr. Wong Ming Wei, to turn on your camera for a group photo.
Three, two, 1.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving on is the Data Analytics and AI Applications track. Okay, so again, I'd like to invite the winners, team advisors, and track representatives from Dreamcatcher Dr. Ho Pujin and Intel Ms. Wei Sumin to turn on your cameras for a group photo.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, thank you. And lastly, the winners for Smart Applications track. Can you please get the winners, team advisors, and track sponsor representative from DHL, Mr. Alex Lee, to turn on your cameras for our group photo?
Three, two, one.
Okay, I think that is all. Thank you so much. All right, so congratulations to all 25 teams. Up next are the 4 special awards. So the first special award is the Dreamcatcher Best Demo Video Award. The winner of this award is selected based on the clarity of the project showcase, engaging visuals and speech narration, as well as the significance of the project. The winner of this Dreamcatcher Best Video Award is also awarded 3,000 ringgit in cash, which goes to Team MY116 from IIUM with the project title Automated Cell Detection and Characterization using AIoT for Bioresearch and Manufacturing towards IR 4.0 by Shamhan Muad with team advisors Associate Professor IR Dr. Siti Fauzia Toha and IR Dr. Ahmad Sharin Idris. Congratulations! So can we have a quick photo session with the team member, team advisors, and Dr. Ho Po Jin from Dreamcatcher?
One, two, three. Thank you.
Thank you. So here's we will show the video of the winning video by team MY116 of IIUM.
Have you ever wondered how vaccines are tested and produced in short times? In cell biology, viruses invade cells. Therefore, researchers are in constant need for human and animal cells to validate vaccines and medicine effectiveness. To maximize cell production, a process called cell culture is used to cultivate and reproduce cells in artificial environments. In this process, cells grow over extended periods of time, and their growth rate is measured by confluency, which indicate the total percentage of cells in a cell culture sample. Ideally, 80% confluency is targeted for an optimized and continuous cell reproduction. Cell culture is even more important these days as it is a vital process in developing vaccines for COVID-19. Cell culture has traditionally been a manual process reliant on lab personnel, but it is time-consuming, difficult for non-experts, and prone to human error. Therefore, our research partners at the Institute for Medical Research Malaysia are in urgent need for a solution towards automation of the cell culture processing and characterization to eliminate these problems. There is a current solution available in cell culture that can perform full automation, which is Stem Cell Factory developed by Fraunhofer IBT. However, their solution requires high production cost, large installation space to operate, and requires custom-built equipment, which is unsuitable for smaller-scale labs with existing equipment. As for our solution, cell culture images are directly obtained from the digital microscope. For deployment and by leveraging OpenVeno, Our AI algorithms will analyze the cell culture and estimate confluency with 96% accuracy within seconds. An integrated robotic arm is then used to place samples and to ensure continuous processing. Each time a cell culture is ready for collection, the operator will receive an online notification. Thus, our AIoT system is accurate, repeatable, modular, and can be deployed as a standalone system in any lab or biomanufacturing environment. The deployed automated AIoT system can determine confluency within 13 seconds. It has a small modular design with low power consumption and can eliminate human error with accurate and fully repeatable results. Our system also utilizes Intel OpenPino and Movige's neural compute stick so that our system has low power consumption, can analyze cell cultures in a short period of time, and can be integrated into different devices.
We first approached Muaz and his supervisors for this project at the end of last year, as we identified aspects of our research and processes that require optimization and improvement. Coupled with issues of remote working during COVID-19, we believe that automation and AI can greatly help us in conducting our research. We are excited to see the progress of the project, and we can certainly envision the use of AI and automation in cell characterization and confluency analysis as part of our future routine laboratory protocols. The incorporation of AI into our routine culture protocols has proven to be repeatable and provide us with consistent results. So together, with the use of a robotic arm, we can see how automation will allow us to standardize and optimize our work in the laboratory. We're also pleased to know that the system developed can be integrated with our existing equipment and that its small and modular concept will allow us to adapt with our limited working area. We look forward to testing and implementing the system in our lab, and we hope all the best for this project.
Our target segments are medical research institutes and hospitals, as well as biotechnology and pharmaceutical industries. Future trends in healthcare research is towards personalized medication. Thus, cell culture in a mass manufacturing environment is a vital process for this. Our goal thus is to contribute towards the implementation of IR 4.0 in bioresearch and biomanufacturing industries. Thank you for watching.
Okay. The next special award is the IEM Best Paper Award. All participating teams submitted technical papers for the IMDC competition. The papers were evaluated for the best written paper in overall idea development, language, consistency of format and structure, and references. The winner of this award also wins a cash prize of RM1,500 from the Institution of Engineers Malaysia. The IEM Best Paper Award goes to Team 1 MY116 from IIUM, again with a paper entitled Automated Cell Detection and Characterization Using AIoT for Bioresearch and Manufacturing Towards IR 4.0. Team member is Shamhan Muad, with team advisors Associate Professor IR Dr. Siti Fauzia Toha and IR Dr. Ahmad Sharin Idris. Congratulations again. Can we have another photo session? This time with representatives from IEM, Mrs. Azwati Azmin, Dr. Mui Kayin, and Dr. Tan Kim Sia.
Three, two, one. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the following special award is the IET Green Technology Award. This award is open to finalist teams with projects related to green technology. The judging is based on project significance and sustainability to the environment using green technology. The winner of this award also wins a cash prize of 1,500 ringgit from the Institution of Engineering and Technology Malaysia. The IET Green Technology Award goes to Team MY157 from Monash University with the project title Peer-to-Peer Energy Trading Web Application Using Blockchain. The team members are Muhammad Rafaquat Alam, Teo Jing Yang, with the team advisor Dr. Tan Wen Shan. Congratulations. Can we have a quick photo session with the team members, team advisor, and representative from IET, Dr. John Tan?
Three, two, one. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The last special award is the James Dyson Foundation Innovation Award. This award is chosen among the finalist teams with the most innovative project idea and technical viability. The winner of this award also wins 1,500 ringgit from the James Dyson Foundation. The James Dyson Foundation Innovation Award goes to Team MY085 from Unimas with the project title Design of Footstep Power Generation System using Piezoelectric Sensor Technology for Smart City Applications by Terence Anak Encarang with Dr. Yonis Buswik as the team advisor. Congratulations, and can we have a photo session with the team member, team advisor, and representative from James Dyson Foundation, Encik Muhammad Kairiyallah?
Three, two, one. Thank you.
Okay. So we will now announce the winner of the Innovate Malaysia Excellence Award, the champion of champions. So after the judging session earlier, the judges have decided on the winning team. This is an award that signifies the best of the best projects for Innovate Malaysia Design Competition 2022. And the award goes to Team 122 from UTM with the project title Autonomous Mobile Robot with Smart Plant Biosecurity Monitoring System for Indoor Agriculture with team members Eng Jia Sheng, Chupna Anak Perempuan Kanasilanayagam, Anas Ismail Hassan Amir Abu Raya with advisor Associate Professor Dr. Yong Chi Fai. Congratulations. Before we do a photo session, I would like to invite Dr. Nur Azmi Alias as the representative of the judges to say a few words to the winning team.
Yeah, congratulations to the team of Jashing, Chupna, and also Anas Ismail. The judges, are excited with what you have done. I think in terms of the integrating all the different technology, different solution to have, capability to monitor the plant, health and whatnot. I think it's going to do a lot of good to many farmers, not just the smallholders, but also the big farmers. And we are excited. I think this has a good potential to have, our, so-called, agriculture sector in a large way. So congratulations and enjoy. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
So can we get the winning team members, team advisor? Can we get the judges all together for a photo session?
Three, two, one.
Okay, thank you, and congratulations to the champion of champions, Team MY122. I'm sure you're very proud. Thank you. So we have come to the end of the event today. Dreamcatcher would like to thank our industry partners, DHL, Intel, and Keysight, supporting organizations, namely Digital Internet Association Malaysia, IEM, IET, the James Dyson Foundation, and SDEC, Sarawak Digital Economy Corporation, participating universities, all the lecturers, supervisors, participants, fellow students, and everybody in the audience for your support and participation. We appreciate your presence here today, and we will see you next year for IMDC 2023. Thank you and goodbye.